To blow your mind, the Switch came out in 2017.
Which is still, yeah.
Wow.
Let that sink in for
Right?
a minute.
That was before I wanted to kill myself.
Yo!
Yo, dog! Hey, Izzy, you okay? You need a hug. If you ever need
What? I
help,
know about...
I mean, I came back from the Dominican Republic with a misgendered passport. So.
You did manage to make that happen, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, wait. I got questions.
A number of them.
I slept listening after you said I came.
Izzy got his satisfaction. So you posted this.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. So this came from a post on the website that shall not be named. And all it said was, who would win? I have my thought, because I feel like this is a pretty open and shut case, but I'm curious to what y'all would say first.
So my familiarity with some of these characters is like little to none. Like I think that's what, Plastic.
So that's Plastic Man from DC.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Pretty
And
much the foil to Mr. Fantastic from Marvel.
Right.
We got
And then
Piccolo.
Mr. Fantastic.
I didn't know Piccolo.
Who
could
that
stretch.
Did you just say Plastic Man? Oh, never mind. Whatever. Say it again.
I didn't know Piccolo had stretchy powers.
Yeah, they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
show it off very often. It was very much a thing from like Dragon Ball more than it was Dragon Ball Z and beyond.
True. True.
But he has this whole thing where he
I
can
don't
like
even remember that. When I watched Dragon Ball, I don't even remember that happening.
he doesn't do it very often, even in that. It's just a thing that he can do that they don't really mention very often.
At the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z, they show it off a little bit and then they like never do it again.
Yeah.
What about his penis?
He doesn't have a penis. That's actually a trait of the Namekians. They are all amorphous or a gender.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
They're all just very male coded for some reason. That's, if I recall, his name is Dalsum from Overwatch. Then we have Luffy, Mrs. Incredible, Jake the Dog.
These from Overwatch?
Dalsum?
Yeah.
No,
I was going to
Street
say
Fighter. You're right.
I thought, but I wasn't going to try to correct you.
I'm thinking of the robot that's also a monk thing, but he doesn't have stretch powers.
Yeah,
Dalsum
yeah,
is
no.
from Street Fighter. You guys
I was
are
going to say, this is a skin I'm not familiar with.
right.
Right. I wasn't going to say nothing because I'm unfamiliar really with both right
That's
now.
fair.
So I was
he's
like,
not
I
even
can't
into
correct you.
porn.
That's fair. You speak with enough confidence, guys. Did I say Jake the Dog? Yep, Jake the Dog.
Yep.
Ling Ling, is that her
Min
name?
Min.
Min.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, you want to know what was going on in my head as I said that? I was like, is her name Ling Ling? I was like, man, I really hope it is, because that's like the most racist name I could have pulled out.
Kiwi would be shaking his head right now.
The Chinese dude be shaking his head about the Japanese character.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because that was also, yeah.
Oh, oh man, sorry. Min Min. I should know that.
Oh, it's funny.
Popular Smash Bros. Character Min Min from ARMS. I believe that's, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Oh, that's, what's her name? Spinel, I think?
Where is she from?
Steven Universe, but is that her?
That
I
doesn't
don't think so.
That doesn't look like a Steven Universe. It looks like, so the one on the left is Mommy Longlegs. Is that her name?
Yeah.
And then she looks like the second to last looks like she's also from one of those horror game analogs. I want to say Poppy's Playtime, but I don't think that's true.
But Spinel can do that too, but I don't think that's her actually.
It is. Oh, it is.
Spinel?
Really?
She has two different forms.
Right.
Spinel.
Okay, so that is her. Yeah, that's her.
Yeah,
that's
that's
her reformed
Okay.
form. Okay, I was right. Okay.
And Spinel. I don't know jack shit about Steven Universe. I have actively avoided Steven Universe.
Why?
I don't talk about it later.
It good though.
And that's what I've been told. I don't care for it. I don't. No.
You haven't seen it. You don't care for it.
Yep.
I mean, hey,
Damn.
there's certain
It's the start
stuff
of my
that I
alt-right
won't
journey.
watch either just because I don't care for it.
It
So
just
I
doesn't look
guess.
like it's something for me. I don't think it's a bad show. I'm sure it's created. I know it has its love and have its community. It just does not look appealing to me. So those are all the characters. You mentioned you're not super familiar with all of them.
I'm not
Still wanna get
familiar
your-
with Plastic Man. I'm not as familiar with Mr. Fantastic.
Marvel character whose ability is stretch and be really, really smart.
Right.
Plastic Man is essentially a DC's parody of Mr. Fantastic, where he is much more of a comedic character and can really stretch and is sometimes super fucking devious.
The comments in the post was essentially all Plastic Man memes, essentially. Like,
Fair.
you see what this dude can do?
There's a thing to
But-
talk about with that. There is something to talk about with that. There's some of the comments I saw were in line with what I was thinking, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. If you're asking me who I think would win,
Mhm.
gosh, that's the problem though, because I think the few that I am not familiar with probably would.
It's got to be Luffy. What are we talking
That's like,
about?
yeah, like between.
I mean, Luffy, what?
Plastic Man.
Mm-mm.
I feel like.
Wait, who do you think is
We'll
going to
get-
win?
we'll get to
Okay,
it. I feel
what
like
the fuck
Luffy
is
So
on
going
you
on?
say
stage.
Luffy.
I do. I think Luffy would win.
I'm saying even taking Gear 5 at his strongest Luffy.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll say Gear 5 Luffy.
yeah.
Because I would say that, but then there's always some Marvel or DC buff person who's like, nah, dude, this is why this one would win, and gives all of the evidence. And I'm like, well, shit.
Well, that's why you got to do your research if it'll be a video essay. But we're just chatting.
We're just
we are
chatting.
just chatting. Like, I would want Luffy to win because I am
I'm-
a Luffy One Piece
That's
stan.
fair.
Okay.
Do you have a...
It's like, so as far as I know, only Luffy and Piccolo have like powers outside of the stretchiness,
Mhm.
which seems like it would give them an advantage.
Yes.
It
Like,
makes
can't
sense.
Piccolo do like a spirit bomb?
He can do a special beam cannon. He doesn't really have his own spirit bomb, but it is the point being he has that kind of shit.
I know Piccolo goes crazy in later like Dragon Balls, so I don't know what his power is at right now. But like,
Even you could even take early Dragon Ball Z Piccolo.
mhm.
The fact of the matter is the answer is Piccolo.
I don't think
Like
you-
the
I don't
answer
think
is
it's Piccolo. I don't
the
think it's
answer is
Piccolo.
Piccolo.
I don't think
As
it's
strong
Okay.
as Luffy is, and we have seen him be at his peak,
Mhm.
Luffy hasn't destroyed the fucking moon
I think he could do
with
it.
we think he could.
He'd probably be fine.
yeah,
With the power of cartoon on his side, maybe.
See, but the thing is,
but
Luffy would
based
just
on-
turn the moon into fucking rubber, and then nothing would matter.
or
But
cheese
like-
and then just eat it.
True. But
Like
we haven't
even
seen,
with the
have we
bullshit
seen him do
Dragon
it
Z
though?
energy cannon shit, like I still think Luffy would win.
That's
I
the-
think Luffy would kick the shit out of everybody.
That's why I'm like, if we know like Luffy right now in the manga, right? Specifically the manga because he's further along, right? He still doesn't really know how to harness his Gear 5 power.
Yeah.
He's got Gear 4. He's plenty, understood, realized
He
with
ain't doing
that.
shit with Gear 4 against Piccolo.
No,
But it's
I don't
like
believe that.
Gear
No,
5 Luffy
no.
right now, but Gear 5 Luffy at the end of One Piece or like at his peak when he understands Gear 5.
Right.
I honestly think that would be
So,
a really good battle where
we're saying-
I do think Luffy would win.
So I'll say we're saying Piccolo versus hypothetical peak Luffy.
Oh,
could
you
win.
even think that would work?
No, that's essentially what we're saying, right?
But then you
'cause
got to
we
take in
don't-
Piccolo's
Because
peak.
we don't know what Gear 5 Luffy is capable of doing yet. We don't know what the peak of his power is. We don't know. While we do know that he has the whole like essentially reality warping, which actually does kind of get into if he can't control it.
It's
Yeah,
he can be
literally
what's the
overpowered.
fucking what's the extent of that? Like, does he just turn the spirit bomb to rubber?
Right.
It's literally the power of imagination. It's essentially what they're rolling on right now. We'll get
Right.
more explanation later, but it's like Luffy.
Based on what we've seen them do, Piccolo takes this no fucking problem.
really.
Piccolo, and that's before we get to what I know of peak Piccolo so far. Because peak Piccolo right now is multiversal level. Like Orange Piccolo is galaxy destroying strong.
I'm gonna say we did see Orange Piccolo. That was crazy.
But even taking that back and taking it to Dragon Ball Super Piccolo, which is like, did I say galaxy destroying? Universe destroying in Orange. At least galaxy
Yeah.
with like base form Piccolo and Super.
I think it's funny because it's like when you look at Piccolo, you also have to look at who he's like fighting with and fighting against, right?
Right.
It's like the power scaling in Dragon Ball is
in fairness, the power scaling across all of these is ridiculous.
Yes, but
It's such a
specifically
crazy-
Dragon Ball. Like
Yeah.
sure, One Piece has it. It is crazy, but like because it's such an older, I guess One Piece is too, but like the way they pace Dragon Ball and like the types of enemies they have to throw at Goku.
Yeah.
Like when you put Piccolo next to Goku and the shit that he fights, like Piccolo can seem like he can't do too much.
True.
I'm talking about versus Goku or
Right,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
shit that Goku has to deal with.
Yeah.
So taking him outside of Dragon Ball universe and putting him in really any other universe is hard to speculate. But like I can see the argument.
I'm going to disagree only because even though if you stack him up against Goku and Vegeta, of course, right?
Because then it's like,
But
okay,
we've still
Goku.
seen what he can do. And I'm just taking it based on
Yeah.
what we've seen him able to do and what official sources have said, like his strength is. Orange Piccolo is as strong as Ultra Instinct Goku, at least at the time of Superheroes, the movie coming out.
Yeah.
Is he as strong as like Mastered Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego? At their peak, of course not, probably not. But we do know he is stronger than Jiren and pretty much everybody at the Tournament of Power at the end of Super. By the time we get here, he is a ridiculous level of power that we could only speculate Gear 5 Luffy could beat.
Yeah. I can see it.
The least iconically stretchy character would win.
Yes.
I'm still, if we're betting, I'm still putting my money on Luffy.
I'll give you that. I won't say that's a bad answer. I'm just saying, to me, I think it's Piccolo.
It would be a good fight regardless.
It'd be an interesting fight.
I would
Dark
love-
Horse Plastic Man comes out, just fucking whip.
So that's the thing to talk about. Because
and then fucking who is this dude? It's literally, it seems like he's just Luffy for what, DC?
Plastic Man?
Yeah, DC Luffy.
I wouldn't say DC Luffy. He's DC Mr. Fantastic. And I know it's a hard comparison to make if you don't know Mr. Fantastic.
Like Luffy forms
Doesn't
of
Mr.
Goofy.
Fantastic have force field powers? Or am I misremembering
No, his
that?
wife. Susan Storm has.
Oh,
force
it's
shield
just the invisibility. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Like I say, like Luffy in the sense that like his goofiness or like how
powers. Okay, yeah,
memeable he
in that
is.
case, yeah,
Yeah.
he like his introduction, he's like a comic relief character.
Right.
They get into some real dark shit with him eventually in some storylines because it's like he's considered one of the most powerful characters in DC. His ability, because he can stretch, his ability to stretch, and it's one of those things where it's like, oh, if you really think about what stretching means, if he can stretch at a molecular level, he has essentially wrapped himself around people's nervous systems, like through their fucking noses and ears, and have like choked people out from the inside. He has
Oh shit. That's crazy.
he has, which comic was it? It might have been Darkest Day and or the Cancerverse, one of the two. He has like, he got infected in a way that basically turned him into what is essentially a zombie. And that caused him, essentially, he has no upper limit to his stretching power, at least on Earth. And it is always in these side comics, right? And he becomes the greatest threat to the Earth every time he becomes the villain. And that's in both him just being a villain and him in some circumstance that makes him a monster to deal with.
So can you just like boa constrict the entire Earth?
Yes, I think he has essentially done that at least once.
I mean,
Like
he could
not
turn
just
himself
boa
into
constrict, just
fucking the Mossy from.
yeah.
Consume.
He has done some insane shit, but generally speaking, in like the main DC comics, he's just like a relief character.
Yakety hacks.
Yakety yaks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He turns himself into a dress that who was it? Big Bertha, I think, was like wearing for a disguise, and come to find it's from the animated series. It comes to find out it's just him as like he's also been like that's just sexual assault. like he's done shit like that sometimes.
Wait, so Big Bertha didn't know that he was the dress?
No.
Oh,
Literally the scene is I'd have never watched the animated series like that, but the clip that I see is her like walking up to two other superheroes. I think it was the Black Green Lantern and some other character, and they're like, "Damn, Bertha, that's a nice dress." And she was like, "Didn't you guys get it?" Like, they're supposed to be undercover or some shit.
Yeah.
She's like, "Didn't you guys get it for me?" They were like, "No." and she's like looking at it and like pulls it, and it's just Plastic Man's face on the inside of the dress. Like, and it's played up for laughs for the show, but the implication of that is like, that's just assault. Like, that's just assault. So that's more than likely why you saw like a lot of the memes. I didn't see those. Like I said, what I saw was fucking Piccolo.
I saw a lot of Piccolo too. Yeah. But it was like a serious answer, and then just fucking Plastic Man picking up something with his ass cheeks from the wall. Like what the fuck is this?
Is this the fucking?
Yes, that's the one. Because he can shapeshift into pretty much anything with his abilities.
That's heinous.
It's like, what if Mr. Fantastic, but the inhibitions of a child?
So Deadpool?
Yes.
Stretchy
Actually,
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic.
What if Mr. Fantastic, but Deadpool without cancer?
Yeah.
Pretty much what he comes down to.
Interesting.
I've seen him basically... Everything I've seen about him is either like, look at this fucker, or like, this guy would be busted. Yeah. This guy would be so busted. Yeah. This guy is so busted. Everything from turning himself into a key to just swallowing the world to crawling into your lungs and suffocating you. Plastic Man is a dark horse that I don't think you could properly predict because he's the ambiguity in his ability set has made it possible to do in fiction things that should not be possible. Like, the
things he has done are plausible. The problem is that there's not been a how do I say it? Like, most characters end up getting like we're gonna stop here because you need a boundary on what this character can do. Otherwise it gets ridiculous. Yeah. And Plastic Man doesn't really get that like a lot of the main heroes do. So a lot of like side writers and side stories just go a little hog wild with them. Yeah. Which makes it really interesting. Like, it's how you take a character who's very much a background B-list superhero and make him interesting. Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Fantastic, he's done some evil shit as the Maker. But it really still comes down to he can just stretch and he can boa constrict, but you're not destroying planets and shit.
He got big brain.
Dawson, fuck no. You're just a monk that can stretch his arms and shoot fireballs sometimes. Mrs. Incredible.
If we're going by what we see in The Incredibles, I've not seen Incredibles 2, so I actually don't know. I haven't seen Incredibles 2 either.
Really?
Yeah. I've been wanting to. I just never got around to it.
I would love to see it. I just have a lot.
It's pretty good. I don't know if I'd say it's better than the first, but it definitely, I don't know, lends itself more on
because we see her in like boat, we see her in parachute mode, we see her slip through
we really see her do what Mr. Incredible can do. And I'm just curious, do they expand on what she can do?
Because there's also that scene where she struggles to slip through the door, so clearly there's like some like limitation.
There's limitations for sure.
Which could be middle-aged suburban mom.
I definitely think
they play on like a lot of that kind of stuff.
Oh, so yeah.
I'm curious of like.
I definitely think there's way more of a focus on just family life, right? I don't think they really did too much more with her, elastic powers. In this, I think they really showed it off really good in the first one.
Because really, my impression of her is always usually that like she's on par with like Mr. Fantastic Four, like. But
you want to know what stupid bullshit I just realized?
What?
I'm ashamed that I just realized it. The Incredibles are an analog for the Fantastic Four. They're literally just the Fantastic Four. I can't believe I am just now realizing this.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Stretchy one, big strong one, fast one.
The fast one.
Dash and Johnny are a little.
I guess they do kind of get a little.
But same vibe.
You're right. Same vibe. They pretty much mix into being the same thing.
Yeah, that's why they can't sue them for copyright infringement.
While technically, like Jack Power is more than just the flame on. He gets the flame on thing, and Dash is the fast one, which the Human Torch does the whole like supernova speed thing or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
The Force Shield girl, the Force Shield one / invisible one, the stretchy one, the strong one, and the mix of the fast/fire.
They do dig a little more into Jack's powers in the second one.
Is his whole thing is that he's chameleon, or that he's just his body's trying to figure out a power?
That
Okay.
we still don't know, but
Okay.
like he does more crazy shit in the second one, essentially, which is fun to watch. But
Which one of the main reasons I want to watch it is just
puberty.
him and Edna Mode just like hanging out is one of the main reasons I want to see that.
one of the best sequences in the movie for sure.
Right.
But
But all that said, I don't think she stands up against it. Unfortunately, anyone who's not an anime character
yeah,
it's not happening.
yeah, those characters.
What do we see from Jake?
He would make some poison bacon pancakes.
I was gonna say he'd make some bomb ass bacon pancakes,
Right? But he's also just he uses his stretching abilities. He's really more of a morphing ability that he uses mostly as stretching in a lot of
we've
cases.
seen Finn wear him.
Finn has worn him. He has turned into a car. He has turned into different shapes, and it isn't that he's stretching into those shapes. So like Helen Parr made herself a boat by just stretching out her body into like a
Boat
parabola shape.
Yeah.
He can just straight up make himself a boat or a house or a mech suit or a car. So he's really just more of a shape morpher.
But we've never really seen like a high power.
He can make himself really big, and he like an Ant-Man,
But nothing that can
not
really
like
compare. And then
he's not gonna
Arms
compare.
is
she's just a punch girl that can punch really far away.
And then I don't know anything about the last two. I haven't watched that.
I
far
know
Steven
shit all about
Universe.
Steven Universe.
I
I don't
would
know
say-
what the powers are.
And
I
then I
would
think the other one's
say-
a children's
And then-
movie character, isn't she?
No, Mommy Longlegs she's one of the horror games.
Poppy
from the-
Playtime.
Poppy's Playtime.
Oh,
So she's one of the
okay.
FNAF-esque
Yeah,
horror creatures.
I would say she literally has little to no
Yeah, she's not-
powers.
If you're a standard human running around in a
Yeah, you're going to be real
factory.
scared of her. If you can literally blow up a planet, you're probably not going to give a damn. She ain't doing shit.
Yeah, I would say Spinel has similar powers to Jake.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think she can freaking cause energy beams or shit like that or anything of that nature. But
She can't do it like the other, because can't the other gems do like...
yes, but she's.
I mean, well,
I'd still say she's on the same level as Jake. If in between Jake and I don't know. I don't want to say Piccolo because that wouldn't make sense. I want to say between Jake and Luffy, but like not to the extent of Gear 5. Her personality is definitely more Luffy-esque.
Okay.
And the way that they have her in the special that they did for Steven Universe definitely gives off a Luffy vibe of like, oh, I'm this crazy ass new character who can, grow really big, stretch really long, and fucking, I don't know, make my hands huge. And yeah, it's really Luffy and Jake-esque is what I get from her.
somewhere between there.
Yeah, but not like, Bound Man Luffy or Snake Man Luffy with the...
Yeah, she's not going up against...
No.
When we start really getting like power.
No.
We really skipped right over Street Fighter guy.
No, I talked about him.
You did?
All he can do is he basically is Arms Girl. He's mean, but can also throw fireballs.
Oh, damn.
He
We
ain't
need some
doing
scarier
much.
women up here.
We need stretchier women.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah, unfortunately, with second you mix anime into any other medium, the anime will always... Because I really wish they would have just said, like... They would have gave some parameter. Because if you just say, like... Pit them against each other, I'm going to assume fight to the death. Or at least, like... Fight to some degree. And it's just like the anime characters are going to win.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's going to be Luffy or Piccolo on top...
I will
admit
like to
there's some
see that
debate.
fight.
I
I
would
would
like to see that
love
fight.
to see that fight because with what we know of Luffy's power and how he works, he just unlocks shit. Like,
that's a death battle. That's a death battle animation I'm down to watch.
yeah, like,
And the fact that his power is the power of imagination does create a speculative limit that will be really fun to explore against.
I would give you that in terms of pure power, Piccolo is the most powerful character we see on screen right now. But my money's still on Luffy.
That's fair. That's fair.
Just purely for me because of the unpredictability of his power. Like, we don't know what the fuck he's going to unlock if he gets beat the fuck up, you know?
Year 12 Luffy.
Like, Kaido killed him, essentially.
And that unlocked
Gear 5. So, like, if Piccolo kills him,
what happens at that point, right?
What happens when you die? He ascends to be an actual
now
god.
the problem is that Piccolo could hit him with a beam that incinerates him to an atom level. And like, what do you do at that point?
if Luffy allows it.
If Luffy allows
that would be
it.
we give all this speculation.
Like,
we're like, Luffy's gonna smack him down. We get out there, he's just like literally ash smeared, just like
oh man.
We'll see. We'll
see. I'm gonna take a quick break. I need to go blow my nose.
oh dang, I had to pee.
Sick. Oh man, all right. I love how this was supposed to be like a break just for me to blow my nose. It's turned into a whole anatomy lessons and medical procedures.
The more you know. Patreon edition.
I should piss more often.
You should.
Right here.
Speaking of pissing more often, you went to the Dominican Republic.
I did. I pissed quite a bit.
He did.
You got to go to Patreon to see what we're hearing about.
You're sitting there, you're just drinking for like 6 hours.
Just fucking kicking back.
You know? You got to get out of the pool and piss, even though you know most people aren't getting out of the pool.
I was going to say, you get out of the pool?
But you want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Right.
But how will they know that you're part of the problem?
They've got the
They
dye.
really wouldn't, but I would know. I would know that I'm swimming in my piss.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, I will know if you piss
Now,
over there.
Every time I got back in, I drank a little bit because that wasn't my piss. But no.
If I see you pissing over there, I will know, and I'll purposely swim over to you
Mouth
with
agape.
my straw and take a nice little sippy sip just to be sure.
If I piss in the pool, that's gross. If you piss in the pool, that's hot.
That's just a Slurpee, bro, right there.
All right. So other than indulging your piss kink, what else did you do while in Dominican Republic?
Yeah, just walking around with a boner in the pool the entire time, like they don't know that I am a piss king.
It's like a fucking Family Guy.
Just goes to find the warm parts of the
Just
water.
like floating
the whole
on your
time.
back. Everybody's like, "Is that a tent? Does he have a little tent?"
Is that a shark in the water? What the fuck is going on there?
Hold on, guys. I'm going over there to piss and just see what falls.
Does heck?
Is his mouth open? Is he inhaling through his nostrils?
Is he a filter feed? What is going on with this guy?
Does that shark have a stretch mark?
Oh, y'all gotta join Patreon to know what the fuck we're talking about.
The callback.
Oh my goodness.
God damn.
Did you do anything else in the GR or are we done?
Nothing else worth talking about. No,
That was the highlight.
I did quite a bit. Man, if I had a piss kink, that would have been great.
Why are we back to the piss kink?
Because it's so good, we just can't
It's
get
just,
off of it.
the idea, because now I'm thinking about it. I'm processing. Like,
Mark this day, guys. This is
honestly,
the day.
when I was there, it was just something that you were ignoring, right? The whole time you were just like, everybody's pissing in here.
Just in
Like,
denial,
you would
as
walk
you
by
would
the
say.
pool at night and it's so cloudy, and you're like, I'm gonna get back in that tomorrow. But like, if you had a piss kink, you're basically in piss soup because they have a swim up bar, so people just swim up to the bar, they drink, and then they piss, and then they go and they get another drink.
Like, and you know they're all
my
drunk as
gosh.
shit.
Yeah,
That chlorine working extra
Chlorine
hard.
working overtime.
Honestly, those pools are probably hella overchlorinated just because of that.
Yeah,
They probably know, yeah.
Like that water is probably. We joke. You probably should not get any of that water in your mouth.
no, you really don't want to. But the drinks were pretty good. Honestly, we went to a Royalton. We went to the Royalton Bavario, I believe. It was a family resort, but they still had, all the amenities. It was probably, for me, it was probably the best all-inclusive I've ever been to.
Nice.
Wow.
For everybody else that went, they also said it was probably the best all-inclusive they've ever been to. Sweet. And these are some people who go to all-inclusives pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there were two primary reasons. One, the booze was decent. Right. Okay. Normally, when you go to a place that's like all inclusive, or places that we would normally go to, they're like party places. The booze is just garbage, right? Because there's just cheap a bunch shit. Of tweenies getting.
It's a bunch of college motherfuckers.
They're just knocking shit back. They don't give a fuck about what they're drinking.
I imagine Cancun is very much you're getting bottom of the barrel shit.
So cheap as fuck.
Because the point is, most of those places did you pay for drinks, or were they included with?
They're included with.
So it's like you're already getting like unlimited.
Yeah, that's what
alcohol.
I was going to ask. It's unlimited.
It's unlimited.
So you're getting unlimited shit,
as much as your liver can take.
Pretty much, yeah. As much as your liver can take.
The limit is up to you.
You would hope that there would be some worker there who's like watching, but
they don't pay enough. I don't.
Their job is to get tipped by you.
Yeah.
All right. Not to get I guess because it's all free, but there's an expectation that you'll be tipping the workers while you're there. I brought $200 to tip. Well, I brought $300, but one of it was a $100 bill, and I didn't really know how to break it. But so I tipped about $20 a day while I was there.
You just walked up to a random server, said, "I'm just going to give you this 100, and me and you are going to be best friends for the rest of this trip, okay?" I got a small DoorDash story when we're done, but
yeah, that would have been a bad move. But you got to pick the right person. Because like sometimes, there was one guy that was like fucking crazy.
Good boy or bad way?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
His name was Mateo. He was like, "I'm El Diablo."
Okay.
He got in the pool because he was trying to hit on one of the people in our group, right? But he also served great drinks, and he gave us very consistent service. So he was. That's why I say a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Fair.
He was weird. There were some times where we had to like avoid him, but also.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna pause the episode for a second. Who? Yes.
So yeah, like the person who that guy was going after was like. Knew how to handle them. They knew when to get out. They knew when to talk them up and get some extra stuff. So everybody was safe and everything was fine. Which actually it was really interesting to watch. But
I'm not shocked. I know this person and I know they can handle themselves very well.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, the booze was like middle shelf, right? There's something you might spend like $30 to $40 on, and we were drinking like crazy.
Not one sober brain cell there for most of the.
No, we had one person who was getting a surgery, so they had to stop drinking the last day.
Damn.
But everybody else was just.
Which, knowing this group, that's not shocking.
I mean, I would walk up and like they would be like, "All right, we want 5 shots," and then they would just do a whole pitcher and pour us 20, and then I would knock back 5. Jesus. And well, these are pretty low ABV shots, right? They're mostly like slushy, mixed shit, but still they're
shots regardless.
They're still pretty.
Of them bitches
they're low ABV for a shot.
Yeah.
They're high ABV for a drink.
And y'all's tolerance is pretty all right.
Pretty fucking high, I would say.
Yeah. Like, I know 5 shots would knock me on my ass.
I probably had 12 drinks a night. Something around that number.
Jeez.
So.
My liver hurts.
Like, man, my...
I would knock it back, and I would be like, I'm feeling pretty fucking good. And then I would start drinking beer. Because at that point, I don't care, and I just want to maintain the vibe.
Feeling,
yeah. And honestly, most nights I was relatively sober by the time I went to bed.
Okay.
Because we would stop drinking before we went to dinner because the bar would end, and that was around like 6-ish. And then you might get a couple drinks at dinner. But basically, you got drunk, and that carried you until... for most of the rest of the night. And some nights we stayed up late. We went to the sports bar, but at the sports bar, you're still feeling the drunkenness. So nobody's like going hard at the sports
So would you say
bar.
more drinking or less drinking than the Aruba trip last year? Because you had some like wild
There were a couple days at the Aruba thing where I definitely drank more. Like I threw up once while I was on this trip. But it was like, oh, I'm feeling nauseous. I'm just going to go clear my gut and then get back to it. Versus the Aruba trip where I was on the toilet like, bleh, bleh. Security came and was like, should you be here? And I was like, no.
Damn.
Like you were in the wrong bathroom?
No, like
it was you should not be in general population right now.
It was like a front office bathroom, right? Because we had, so there was, the resort was really long. right? And so at all inclusives, oftentimes they'll have like restaurants, which is basically just a way to mediate who's eating your nice food and like limit the amount. But anyways, so we would make reservations at these restaurants, and so we had gotten onto to go over to. We had made a reservation. We were going over to do it, and I got onto the golf cart shuttle they had going between it, and I was like,
Let me off right now.
I was like, you gotta make it to the bathroom. You gotta make it to the bathroom. I made it to the bathroom, so I was just sitting in the bathroom at their front desk, essentially, on the other half of this resort, just throwing up. And so eventually one of the security guys came in and was like, hey, kid, should you be here? And I was like,
you want me to barf on the floor?
Right? Which I feel like you're a fucking American tourist resort location.
Yeah.
You're serving alcohol. I'm assuming the Aruba place was also alcohol.
I mean, it's not like he was like, this is crazy. I've never seen this before.
Right?
But
it's more of like I wonder how many bathrooms do they have? Like that bitch should be lined with bathrooms. But
oh yeah, I mean, every time I've been to one of them, they are pretty much everywhere.
Okay,
but
good.
Basically, they got me back to my room. Right,
nice.
Spent the rest of the night, but none that didn't really happen while I was there. I mediated myself pretty good to the point where it was like I was quite pleasantly drunk.
Hell yeah,
for most of the day.
A little more controlled this time around.
Yeah, I would say so.
I heard y'all went parasailing.
I did. I went parasailing.
Nice.
I and JP, a couple other people.
Yes,
went.
JP Morgan Chase.
Yes,
that particular one.
I mean, how do you think I afforded to go there?
Exactly right.
Banking.
I mean, I work in the financial sector. I'm burning America down from the ground up.
Yes.
Parasailing was really fun. It was really interesting because they just had like people planted outside of the resorts, and you'd be like, "Hey, I want to go parasailing." They put you on a boat. They take you out to a boat. They put you up in the air. They put you down. They take you back home.
Hell yeah.
It was like 30 minutes. I went parasailing for probably 8 of it, and it was really fun. I got to see it like out across the island, which was surprisingly flat. I thought it would be like more rocky. It would have some more. Even like Aruba, they had some elevation changes. Yeah. But there it was just, which I'm wondering if it's because it's like older or not.
You went to Punta Cana, right?
Yes, I was in Punta Cana.
Nice.
You can kind of
I
see.
wonder, is it like this one or this?
That or that. And that's kind of similar.
Because it makes me think, is this man-made?
I'm talking about a horizon.
Oh, even on the horizon line, it's pretty fun. Yeah, you're right.
Like when you're looking out over that and it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like,
Still pretty
this is Haiti. This is where Christopher Columbus first.
Oh, is this the spot he actually touched on?
I don't think it's this spot specifically, but this island, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because I think, if I remember correctly, he landed in Haiti. And did lots of damage to people there. And so I had a really good time. Parasailing was really fun. We went on a dune buggy ride, which I had less fun on.
Not as fun as it sounds, because it turns out it's a tour.
Yeah, well, in Aruba, a couple people went on a dune buggy thing, and they basically were like, "This is a section of land where you can get on these things, and you can run around." You just ride. And I was expecting something like that. And I was like, yeah, I'd like to drive. That'd be fun. We got there and it was just, we got in a line and we went to this place. Then we went to this place. Then we went to this place.
Oh, okay,
so you said an uncomfortable dune buggy going over like rough terrain to a place where people are going to be like, hey, you should buy these things for like a 300% markup. And then you went to another place. People were like, hey, you should buy these things for like a,
Yeah.
But I got better at negotiating while I was there.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm thinking about a guy gave me a bracelet with like tiger eyes on it. He was like, "Hey, you should buy this. This is tiger eye jade." It was tiger eye jade. Nice. And he was like, "This is really nice."
Is tiger eye jade something that's actually a?
You can look it up. It's jade. I wouldn't use the word jade. Word jade is inaccurate, but it's a tiger eye. It's
it's not rare.
It's
okay,
not super.
That's what I mean, right?
It's
like
not
common
super rare.
stone.
But when you don't know that, and somebody shows up, and then they're like, "This is a tiger," and he's like, "I'll sell you this."
It does sound sick as fuck.
It does. It looks pretty cool.
The eye of a tiger, yeah.
Orangey.
Yeah, it's like basically you got like sandstone on either side, and you have this like thing throwing through it. I like I said, I wouldn't. I'm not sure if you should use the word jade because jade implies like a much higher quality stone than I think.
Well, I mean,
but that right there,
this one, or
that right there is basically.
You keep saying that right there. And I need you to give me
like the fourth.
Look where I'm pointing clearly. All right, see through my eye.
Thanks.
But yeah, the one, yeah, that's a good description of the stone. And these bracelets are basically what they were selling me. The one you were hovering over.
This one?
When I said yes.
Oh, no, you never said yes.
Yes.
You never said yes.
I said that one when the thing was over
it.
That has kind of like
I'm sorry.
Give me a number.
It has kind of like a holographic.
The fourth one. Because that's like, yeah. Actually, you know what? I'll just go fucking get it. 1 second.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
You have it. Sick. All right, we'll be right back.
I was going to give this stuff to my sisters. For now these. They really want you to buy stuff. So here's what they do. They'll be like, all right. Here my brother.
Oh, they did this.
They'll be like, something. And they'll be like,
christen you with the...
They're like, just for you.
The fucking tourist trap rituals and shit for selling stuff has gotten like insane.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sell you this.
Oh, yep. Perfect.
Brothers for life.
Like, this is a tiger eye. Yeah, and then they have somebody showing up with like a bandolier from like, this is my boss. She just got back from making it, and for my family,
I don't think you can see it that way.
I want you to buy it. And
Your boss just came
this is
from
super
China?
rare. This is super rare, and I will sell it to you for $60. That is the number they gave me for that bracelet.
I feel like depending on how much this is worth. Yeah, I don't know if this is worth.
I think I found the exact same bracelet on Amazon for $8.
Right.
Yeah.
I ended up talking them down for like $35 for everything total.
This one's pretty. I like this one.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But I'm sure it's like something from like in China or whatever. But
these are pretty cool.
The thing that definitely was blurry as all fuck.
Yeah,
they're fine souvenirs. If we can call it.
Right.
Reparations for the.
Like, that's not an incorrect way to use that word, but it is wild you using it to us.
Just like I was like, you know what? They have to eat. And
That's fair,
the
right?
primary cash flow is
Like,
people coming in here and spending a lot
honestly,
of money.
for the amount I spend on souvenirs and trinkets in like even fucking American domestic tourist trap shops, that's not the worst.
And so I got that stuff. That was the only time I bought stuff. I told you the cigar story. Did I tell you the cigar story?
You did. I was going to bring that up. If you didn't.
I don't think so.
Yeah, there was one other time, particularly memorable time, where they tried to sell me stuff. And so they would bring these kiosk people like into the hotel, and some days they would just be there. And I think it was like the second day. Yeah, that's the one. The second day I was there, I was walking by, and this guy, I was looking at him, looking over, and this guy goes, "Hey, you want to look at these cigars?" And I was like, "I've smoked a cigar twice in my life. I'm not opposed to give a puff every once in a while, but the
Okay, fine.
and so I was like, sure, I'll check one out. And he's like, I'll give you a sample. I was like, sweet,
Free sample?
I'll take some free shit.
Right.
And so he hands me that
That's how they get
cigar. He lights it up. It tastes pretty good. I'm like, I wouldn't mind buying some of these. That wouldn't be bad. So I was like, yeah, what do you got? I'd like to take some of these. So he gets, I'll give you a case. I'll give you a case of 10. He gets out this case of 10. I'm like, sweet, 10? Like if I ever do like a business thing or something like that, I don't know, like having quality cigars or exchanging cigars is like something that can make you seem more like cultured. So I'm like, sure, it's not a big deal. I'm sure I'll find a time in my life to smoke them. And he puts them down and he's like, all right, so $85 a cigar, $850. And I'm like, yo, bud. That's my plane ticket.
Yeah.
Right. Like actually my plane ticket was $900. But anyways, no, thank you.
And that was definitely an offshoot from what you would normally see at.
I don't know. I don't know a single thing about cigars. I don't know how they're
Well,
priced.
I mean, like other vendors, I guess. Like
I
when
don't
you
know,
were there.
I don't know
No
the
idea.
vendors. I did see like some little ones, like little rinky-dink ones. They actually tasted very good when we were on the trip, and they sold that entire case for $40. Now, granted, they were this big around, and you smoked them in like 5 seconds.
Those are basically cigarettes.
They were basically cigarettes, and they called them cigars. They tasted really good. They tasted like chocolate.
I was gonna say, actually, those are probably the most accurate description of a cigarette. A cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were cigarettes.
Cigarello.
Cigarro.
And so I was like, I forget what exactly I said because I went into shock. But
I'm sorry. How much do you want me to pay right now?
Yeah, I basically back and forth. I got him down to $350,
Okay.
which is it's less than half of his original asking price. In terms of negotiation, like that's a pretty good deal.
30. I feel like if they are decent cigars,
Yeah, 35 a piece. But it's like when you're trying to get me to buy bulk.
He's trying to get me to buy 10. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like 35, yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, I could do that. And then it took a second. I was like,
Am I really about to buy 10 cigars?
I'm about to buy 10 cigars for $350. I don't give a shit about cigars. Like, I wouldn't spend $350 on booze easily.
I can guarantee you this bitch will sit here unsmoked for the entire tenure of us living here.
Almost certainly. Right? Like, am I really about to drop $300 on this? No way in hell. No way in hell am I going to do that.
One of those moments of clarity I always hear about.
And so
That's more than a Nintendo Switch 1.
yeah,
Right.
I can put that towards my Nintendo. Right? I can put that towards.
You know what? Speaking of Nintendo Switch,
No.
just
We'll get into
move
that
right
later.
on to
We'll,
that.
we'll get into that later.
And so like, thank you.
I just think that's crazy in retrospect.
That's wild.
and so I was like, I'm sitting here. I was like, all right, I got to turn him down. But by this point, he already has a bag in his hand. He puts everything in the bag. Now it's like a cigar pack, it's a lighter, it's something else,
shit.
right? So because he's trying to throw a bunch of low value stuff in with the cigars to make guilt you into like
Doing it, yeah.
And so I have this in my hand, and I'm like, and he's like, "Go get your payment information. Go get your payment information." So I walk away. I'm like,
Get
well,
your card.
maybe
Get your card.
I'll like ask.
Yeah, he was charging you what, 80?
85, then he got it down to 35 per.
Yeah.
So he knew.
Oh,
he
so-
He knew he was
definitely
probably
knew.
gonna make $15 a cigar on that, which I'm sure he would.
I mean, profit is profit.
Profit is profit. Like, he's a businessman. It's not his job to.
Are they Cubans?
Dude, I don't know. But yeah, I'm sitting there, and so I go back and I talk to some people, and basically it boiled down to like I knew a couple guys who was like
you mostly to the middle range.
yeah, and they were basically like, you don't smoke cigars, don't do that. And so I walked back and I was like, now and before I had brought up like my wife like in the conversation for the negotiation tactics, and I walked back and I was like, my wife caught me and she doesn't even want these in the house.
To make sure we didn't gloss over this, because I was looking up cigar prices, this man has handed you the bag of shit and has walked
did.
away.
And I had walked away. I could have just fucking taken it.
like,
Damn.
this
Now,
man is
granted, I would have been on this resort for like 8 more days walking past this kiosk.
right.
I probably wouldn't
Taking
have
it would not have been in your best
taking it.
interest.
It wouldn't have been a good idea, but I totally could have just been like, "This is my shit."
And I'm just gonna now avoid this kiosk
Yep.
for the rest of the day.
Like, he's never gonna see me again, and I'm gonna leave the country with 10 cigars.
Right.
But of course, I'm a good Christian boy. I would never defraud. I'm a good capitalist gentleman.
2 of those are a lie and 1 of those is questionable.
2 truths and a lie. 2 lies and a truth.
2 lies and a lie.
2 lies and a whole lie.
And so I was like, I'm not gonna do this. But that was what I was like, okay, you know what? If I want to spend this money, I can just fucking act like a reluctant ass bitch and then suggest lower prices until I get what I want. Well, they're like, Oh, why did you?
Oh, I'm saying, that's the way to do it.
With,
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
And and so I learned a little bit, but fuck spending money on cigars. But I most days I just woke up whenever the fuck I wanted to. I read for an hour. I put some lotion on, got ready, went out to the pool, read a little bit more, and then got to drinking. And it was a great time. It was really good. It was really relaxing. I definitely feel rejuvenated coming back. I needed some time to let my body recover from drinking so much so consistently. Yeah. But even after that, I feel I'm really glad I went on. It was a great time.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Glad you had fun.
Yeah.
Oh, one of these days.
We should do another trip again.
We're setting one up for next year, aren't we?
Yeah, we're
supposed to be.
That was
how do you guys feel about the JoCo cruise?
Ooh, a cruise.
The what cruise?
The JoCo cruise, the Jonathan Coleman cruise. So like what I want. Here's my pitch for you. All right. What if
Kingz
I
After
told
Dark
you,
does trip planning?
What if I told you could spend a week stuck on a boat with Brendan Lee Mulligan?
Oh, you motherfucker. Okay, continue.
What if I told you there was not an insubstantial chance that you could get hit on by Eric Ishii at a bar?
Don't do that to me.
It's happened to somebody I know who went on the cruise.
Don't do that to me.
So
don't do that to me. Don't give me hope.
He's doing it to you.
My friend Rueben got hit on by Erica Ishii on the JoCo cruise.
Okay, you say Rueben. That's a very gender non-specific name.
It was a woman.
Okay, I don't have that kind of luck.
I'm sorry, but you don't have her chest.
I realize the gravel in my voice makes me sound way more like scornful about that.
How dare she?
Right? I don't think that's
but
happening.
No, like,
it should have been me.
It's a nerd themed cruise for a week. They pull in comedians.
I did see something on this actually. I didn't know what it was called, but when you said nerd themed, I was like, wait, no. Yeah. I saw a clip of it was. Yeah, keep going. Yeah. I remember seeing. I got
interested in it when I heard the Hey Riddle hosts were going.
That's interesting.
And I got even more interested when I talked to some people who had been on there, and they were like, yeah, I got to show Brendan Lee Mulligan my favorite dice.
Oh, yeah.
And one of was like, yeah, I got hit up by Eric Ishii. I was like, okay, I'm in.
Right.
So I would like to plan a trip doing that. In fact, next year, I think I would like to go.
When did you look into it?
It happens around this time in the year. I think it happened last month, actually.
Okay.
Interesting time. Where do they ship out from?
What's that?
I'm assuming California.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I was really hoping for Japan next year. That's what we were initially setting up for.
Mm-hmm.
And as interesting as it would be to give myself that kind of hope, I would almost rather do the D&D in a castle if I was going to save it for something like that and try to catch it. If Brendan Lee Mulligan, I don't think I've ever seen Brendan come up in the guest DM list for that, but if I was ever going to, because that bitch is like $3,500, not including lodging. Like the amount you have to pay for lodging for the D&D in the castle is not even included in the $3,500 just to attend the thing. So like, if I were to do it, I think I'd rather do that because I want to be in a DM session with Brendan Lee Mulligan. And I would love to do that. But I'm not against it either. I'd be down to look into it.
Yeah. Most of those comedians are there as performers, right?
Right.
So
but they're stuck on a fucking boat.
They're stuck on a fucking boat. I'm gonna be hunting for. Now's my chance to make Erin Keefe fall in love with me. She's already seeing somebody, but anyways,
she can see multiple people. You never know. She can see multiples. You never know.
Yeah.
Polyamory is not as taboo as it used to be.
Yeah.
the tone shifted. Yeah.
Now I'm just gonna be walking and converting everybody I meet to polyamory. It's be like, hey.
Knocks on the door.
I did meet a very lovely lesbian couple when I was there.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me about that.
Yeah.
In the DR.
Mm-hmm. It was Chandler and Allison.
Hi, Chandler and Allison.
Hi.
You found us.
Oh God.
Oh, this is a bad thing?
Oh no. The Dom you met on that trip is not the Dom who exists today.
exists.
He's dead and gone. I'm back in the gym now.
That was all an act. It was all an act. Anyway.
Can't know the true me. The one who does.
Oh, no.
I'm not actually going to make that joke.
Okay.
I was going to make a callback to earlier.
I'm trying to figure out which one.
Talks about stretch marks.
Okay. Fair enough. Glad you had fun, though.
I did. I had a great time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in a situation right now. I need to figure out some shit before I start planning anything again. But I am hoping, because I've been wanting to do another trip since pretty much the last thing I did was Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Technically with you, but the big trip we did all together a couple years ago. And I've been itching to go on another vacation. So, yeah, either that cruise or Japan, which I think group-wise, Japan is probably still going to win out, unfortunately. But I'm down to do that cruise sometime in the future, to go on the list.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of make that happen.
Honestly, a cruise just in general would be fun too. Just
I am back and forth about how I feel about going on a cruise.
I would say you haven't done that.
I've
yet,
never done a
have you?
cruise, and I'm gonna be honest. I've never had like a strong. It's weird. I'm gonna say I never have, but I actually have. There's like sometimes I'm like, man, a cruise sounds like it would be a lot of fun. Then other times I'm like, do I really want to be stuck on a boat?
Well, that's
for a
I
fucking
guess
week?
that's the biggest
Right.
thing that people
I want to do
can't
like
wrap
port
their heads
hopping.
around.
If it wasn't the Joko cruise, I don't think I would ever go on it.
Okay, fair.
Oh, okay. That's
Like,
you
Not
haven't been
unless,
on one
not
either?
unless the group that I went on this vacation to went on a cruise.
I'm
but
surprised y'all
even-
haven't yet. Actually,
Well, it's because
Same.
most of the people that go on that don't like cruises.
That's
So
I
there
don't
is
know, just
one
like
that
being stuck on a boat just doesn't like it sounds cool, and I feel like the second I'm there, I'm gonna be like, I'm already bored.
and I don't know how much of them are also like all expenses, which there's another wrench in there.
Mm.
And then there's the danger factor and the bullshit that can go on at sea. Like, I don't know.
There's been a man.
If you gave me a murder mystery cruise, sound like it would be fucking sick. If you presented me with a ticket, I'm not gonna turn it down. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, like I don't think cruises are something that you would probably enjoy for like, 2 weeks or
10
however long
days,
you were
10-ish.
in DR. Like it's a week for a good reason, and you make stops.
I was gonna say like
But-
the island hopping part, the island hopping, the port hopping part of it sounds really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
they host
Ports
events
are just
too.
like some people like, let me sell you some things.
But
there
it
are, but I
is a
think you
lot
have
of
enough
that.
time to get out of the port and go explore a place and come back, right?
Get
That-
murdered by a cartel.
I mean, no risk, no reward.
I mean,
So-
certain administrations would like to make you think,
Right.
They got to use that horse asshole remover for something. Have you seen one of those? Have you not seen?
I don't. No. No, I haven't. I've not seen one of those. I'd prefer not to see one. I get the strong feeling I'm gonna see one real soon.
They're extremely menacing, but not as menacing as you would think.
You know what? I'm gonna take this opportunity to put us on break. We're gonna come back to something different. Oh yeah, did you mention about you shaking your ass?
Oh no, I didn't. I won a contest for shaking your ass in Punta Cana.
Wait, was that when you were on the beach?
Did you see a video of it?
I don't know. I saw the
Is there
Snapchat.
a video of it?
I saw a
probably
Snap
video
story.
of it. Yeah. Yeah, it was the white party. They were like, hey, everybody come on, we're going to do a thing. I was like, fuck it. And I went up there and they were like, all right, you're going to do the dance. I don't remember what the dance was. But
Was it
I
like
did
a
the
grass skirt dance?
no, it wasn't like a grass skirt dance. It was very much just like a boop, 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 boop.
It was well deserved. I can attest to that. A well deserved bottle of
I
wine.
forgot to do a split at the end.
Oh,
Damn.
I can't really do a split. I would have done like a fake.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I would know for the number of times I jacked off to it.
I could say it would have been well deserved.
You want to know that's in the episode now.
No, it's in the Patreon.
No, it's not. We're talking about the
Yeah, we're back-
TBR
we're
shit.
back to
We're
the
back in for a
vacation.
sec.
It's okay, Izzy.
All
You
right.
have permission to jerk off to me.
All right. Consent is important.
There
Julie.
Yeah, wait,
It's
you
fine.
don't already jerk off to Fluff?
Didn't I just say that I did? Profusely?
Not true. True. The English language, yes.
English language, my children.
I understand.
Everybody trying not to admit that they jerk off to each other.
I feel like we've been pretty fucking open about it.
I want to see a scene.
Oh my goodness. All right. Speaking of a scene, is that what you said?
Yeah. It was a reference to Hayward over
Okay,
or I guess just improv. But
we're gonna talk about what?
Emos.
Probably. Are we? Oh, scene kids. I'm realizing they forgot to highlight this end. They missed the end when they were creating this infographic.
Yeah.
So anyway, a dude made a thing. A dude. Well, it says a dude. A team, I'm sure, made a thing in Blender. I have not seen it.
It started with a dude, sure, but then it grew into a bigger production. And that animation film, the animated film, is called Flow. And
wait, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I was like,
that's Flow. Those are images from Flow.
Yeah.
It's about a cat who survives the apocalypse on a boat. Well, I guess it's another apocalypse.
Or whoever made this infographic wrote
They
this
really
in the dumbest way. Because they start with the subject of this being the film and then move on to putting it alongside Inside Out 2, which then becomes the subject because it was nominated alongside Flow. And there's no point where they mention that the animation was in fact Flow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, this isn't the best infographic, but it's the thing that got me to go, huh? So I was like, let's post it, I guess.
Like a short or like a feature length?
It really feels like somebody in high school was like, I don't know which words to highlight, so I'm just going to kind of do my best.
It feels like they used AI.
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Well, shit, we can't trust the fact no more.
Even though the place this came from is unknown facts. Yeah.
For those not watching, this infographic says, this man used Blender, a free open source animation software, to create a film that won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature, surpassing Inside Out 2, a $200 million production, which was nominated alongside Flow.
What was the production value of Flow? Do we know?
I don't know, but it definitely wasn't 200 million.
Do you say Billy with a B or Millie with a...
Billion with a B.
Oh, no, a million. Billion would be crazy.
That's the Elon Musk net worth.
Is it like a short or like
3.7 million.
I mean, imagine if Elon Musk used his net worth to create a movie, though.
so much?
It would be pretty terrible.
I haven't seen Flow, but I've seen a lot of talk about it. And Fluff, you said you watched it.
I've seen Flow.
Is it
a
full-length
some great
movie?
inside jokes about that movie that I am not going to repeat here. But the
is it like a full featured length?
it is a full feature length film. It's pretty damn good. There's no dialogue in the entire film.
Awesome.
The bird ascends to heaven. It's really, really good. I mean, the basic premise is no humans, just animals, like pets, birds. And there's a flood. Flood is happening. And Cat has to survive with the cast of characters they meet along the way. It is very good. It's very beautiful. Well animated, well edited.
It seems like it's the epitome of like show and not tell.
It is. Well, I mean, they tell you through showing.
Yeah, because they literally can't talk or anything. Mm-hmm. And there are no humans, like you said. Like at first, when I first saw this, I thought it was a game. I was like, oh, this looks like a fun game.
This does look like a game, right?
It does.
And then it's like, no, this is a film. I was like, oh.
I wonder if they're using like the real-time render engine.
Oh, they could.
I think when I did read a little bit on, this is how I found out that it wasn't just one guy.
Yeah.
He said he was doing a lot solo at first and using Eevee.
I was going to say it's Eevee, I think.
Yeah, and I think they stuck with Eevee throughout all of this. I don't know if it's real time how Eevee works exactly, but
I think Eevee is the real-time one.
yeah. Versus Cycles.
Yeah,
So Cycles is their
ray trace.
Yeah, like their GPU accelerated renderer.
But he was like, yeah, I started solo, and then I started asking help from a couple mentors, and then, we released a trailer that we didn't put out, and then that was to get, a little bit of assistance on the developer side, and then once we got more people, we put out an actual trailer that got, more support money-wise, and then we went full in with the full team and everything.
Nice.
So did it start with one dude? Yes, which is really cool. And he just got a shit ton of support.
Okay. I mean, that's less misleading than I thought it was. Like, it started out with a single guy.
Yeah.
It is wild that this is a 1 hour, 25-minute runtime.
Yeah. Well, it has the energy of like an artistic short film, but
Right.
it has the production. Like if you took somebody who had that vision and then let them run with it for the full thing, it's very good.
Nice. I would not be shocked if we saw a game come out of this. Like someone's like, we got to turn this into a game.
Flow the game. Yeah, we might, but I don't know. I don't know what the experience would be after watching it, but
honestly, what was that one cat game that came out?
I don't know if I can remember.
I played it. I can't remember what it's called. That's a
real
good game.
I was gonna say it's like I don't know, it's just cat going on an adventure, and
There are a couple.
That game was also very well done. I haven't played that one myself, but I've seen some people, especially like cat experts, react to like the body language of the cat and the behaviors, and just like they got the details down.
Stray.
Yeah.
I was just looking up the name.
That cat game. Not the T-posing raccoon.
Like all the like cat animations and everything.
Wait. Go left.
Did they mocap?
That during the production of Stray, the development team had such an awful time working with the feline motion capture artist that the game was almost cancelled entirely.
Oh.
Numerous reports from inside the studio, Nibbles the cat would often turn up to work high from a catnip binge. He was also often irritable and scratched his fellow cast members mid-take if they didn't get their performance right. The final nail in the coffin were the sexual misconduct allegations made against Nibbles by some of the cast and crew.
Bruh.
Rightly led to Nibbles being blacklisted by most of the industry. Did you know that during the production of Stray, the development team...
Okay, I don't know if this is a meme or just
I was
hyperbolic.
gonna say, is this the April Fool's thing?
I don't know if they actually used mocap.
That's why I was like, wait, did they really?
Maybe
March
they
29th. This might just be
It could have been.
just a joke.
did. Obviously, the allegations are all just
I think
haha.
It's like,
I'll fucking
I don't
do
know
it
if
again.
that's like
I think he's just being hyperbolic. I think it was like animals are just difficult to work with, especially a cat.
Yeah.
And he's throwing in some extra bits.
I mean, imagine trying to get motion capture balls. Did they actually mocap it though? I want to know.
That's why I was like,
All right, I
wait.
guess we're gonna find out.
I mean, I gotta know.
I feel like I would have heard about, we would have heard about this.
Surprisingly, however, no motion capture was used in the process of animating the cuddly feline-like character, as producer Martin Reggett
Oh, okay.
Mayville. Okay, so that's just a joke.
Damn, got us.
Got him. But anyway,
it looks
Flo.
like somebody mocapped a cat for something. But
Yeah, they definitely were. But anyway, yeah, Flo. Like, misleading stuff aside, the movie is beautiful. And the fact that it won an Oscar over a fucking Disney movie.
Go back
is
and
insane.
verify that because it looked like it won for the best international animated film, which I
know
don't
what?
think.
Yeah.
I don't think Inside Out would be up for that.
I'm going to guess the fact that this is even up here. Best
Best
animated
animated feature.
Best international feature film. Academy Award for Best Animated Features in the Someone's got to get shot now. For each of the Academy Awards, winners and nominees. What the? Okay.
Yeah,
Flow beat
Flow.
Inside Out.
It did.
For animated
It
feature.
did straight up. Damn, that's crazy.
I don't know if there's a difference between animated feature and animated film. Oh, no, it says animated feature. Okay.
I mean, it looked like it won both animated feature internationally too.
It did win the international one. So, okay. Hell yeah. I respect thy hustle.
Hell yeah.
It is definitely a huge staple.
Yeah.
That's something that, one dude was working on in Blender.
Right.
Not that Blender's, lesser or whatever. It's just.
But when you're stacking it against the machine that is Disney and Pixar and the industry standard, because that's like a big thing, is how, like, I don't know if Disney uses Maya, but I imagine they would, because Autodesk has essentially capitalized the animation market for the most part.
I mean, Disney's big enough that they could create their own technology.
That's what I'm saying. They do, but it's not even Maya at this point. It's Maya baseline, but then Disney develops.
But they
their
built
own
on top of their shit. But at the end of the day,
systems.
Autodesk still gets the we built the.
I mean, because we talked to one of the old technical directors at the Tiki thing, and
which we haven't been back there.
I haven't been back there. I haven't made it back.
Touched.
You remember Rick, the guy who gets up and announces and brings expensive bottles of wine? I want you to Google something real quick for me.
Boy. Is this in or out of the podcast?
This is in the podcast. Okay. I mean, we can keep this in. This is very public. Okay.
Google pickle
Rick embezzlement Grand Rapids.
What?
Is it Dillinger specifically? Or?
I think it might be Dillinger.
Former Elk City AG teacher arrested for alleged.
Is this it? Or is that not that? I don't remember if it's Dillinger, but.
The man accused,
Williams?
Richard Williams. This is from December 2024.
Yep, that's him.
Oh!
So in case you don't know, Shriners is a children's hospital charity.
Oh.
And he embezzled $1.4 million from that. Ooh. Like, what the heck? He is super in jail right now.
Is Tiki Freak still happening?
So Tiki Freaks is still happening. The community still exists, but he is not really.
I guess they can't. Yeah, it was just a good. Oh,
when did this happen?
December 10th of last year.
Yep. So
used to buy land, donated to college fraternity.
Last time I went down to hang out with with Erica,
did we see that guy?
Yes. Yeah. He's been at
Tiki Freaks. He was he's one of the people that leads or led Tiki Freaks.
Oh shit.
Because he's a partial owner at Max's, and so he helped facilitate a lot of that stuff. And
sick.
Damn.
Well, at least he donated it to fraternities.
A check from the Children's Trust totaling $45,000 was written to.
He just wrote a check to himself.
A week later, Williams purchased vacant land behind his home for $40,000. I think it's mildly even worse than what you were saying, Fluff. The charity is not a children's charity. The children's charity gave him was writing the check to him for his charity. He stole a check from a children's charity that was meant to go to his charity.
Damn.
If I'm understanding this correctly. Oh, shit. That's insane.
And he thought he could get away with it?
How do you think that you can just disappear that much money and not?
That's a great.
I don't know.
At some point, 2 donations were made from the Children's Trust to separate college fraternities. The donations, which were made in Williams' name, total $25,000, $250,000. Or, oh, maybe I guess I should probably read through all this. That's all insane. That's actually insane to hear about, though.
Yeah.
Oh, 6 charges of embezzlement. Ooh, boy.
What does he get, a year and a half?
Maybe.
He's not a politician, so he'll be prosecuted properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. There it goes.
What? Oh.
Or no, never mind.
Fake.
False alarm. False alarm.
Started out with a penis. And then it grew into a chode.
So wait, does this loop back around to?
This just happened to be about the fact we were talking about Tiki Freaks. Oh,
Were we?
105 years in prison. His
Ooh.
How do you have a bond set at $10,000?
That's what. Yeah.
What?
That's what we were talking about too. Like $10,000. What the fuck are they thinking?
Should his sentences be served consecutively if allowed to carry out his sentences all at the same time? Okay, his maximum time in prison would be like 20 years. So he's getting like a little over 20 years for each conviction.
Yeah.
If he's forced to serve consecutively, he's seeing life in prison, which he probably won't. He'll probably get I don't know what it's called. Is it concurrent time?
I'm gonna probably
Serve
plead
concurrent.
out.
It will give him like a max of 20 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if he pled out.
Yeah.
That deal.
We'll see. That is insane.
Flow.
So anyway,
That's why I was like, wait.
I'm not entirely certain how we got here either. I have completely forgotten.
We went from Flow
Yeah.
to Disney
Yeah.
to the person we met at Tiki Freaks at
That's
Disney.
right. There it is.
That's
we
where I
talked
didn't
to a
make the
dude who used to
connection.
work in like the technical
Oh.
He was a lead.
he was like a tech lead, at Disney. It was
Was
really
that
cool.
him or somebody else?
No, somebody else.
No.
Somebody else. It was really cool to talk to that guy.
It was. If
But-
I spent more time there, I'd probably ask him to be my mentor because he's super cool.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, this beating out a Disney film is just insanely like that's incredible.
Mm-hmm. And Blender's got this, plastered everywhere.
Oh, of course.
Rightfully so.
Of course. I would absolutely be I would be hyping the fuck out of this
Oh yeah.
if I were like the Blender team. But yeah, no, that's sick. So when was this? About 2 weeks ago. So we took a break. We basically just kind of took a hiatus last week. And during the week you were in the DR, there was the Mario Kart Direct that went down, which caps off like 3 straight weeks of directs. We're not gonna watch it this time around like we did with the last ones. It's not like it was all Mario Kart World related. So we're probably just gonna go down the list of things that came up, which was a lot of fun. First thing first, game looks fucking great.
It looks good.
Like the game looks absolutely fantastic. The image of characters, like the expanded roster and the characters we were seeing that week, we were like, we don't know if this is like someone's meme image or not. Yep, all those characters are in there. The fact that fucking Cow had like a very specific moment in the
direct
direct.
itself. Yeah.
And it's just called Cow. There's no special name. It's not called Moo Moo Meadows Cow.
Even Moo Moo.
Or Moo Moo.
Which most people thought it would be like Moo Moo or something.
Just Cow.
Which is a little boring, but whatever.
I almost think it's a little bit better that way. Like I think it's more absurd that way.
It is what it is, and you can name it whatever you want.
Right. I'm still gonna main Shy Guy. So
yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
We got a quick list of stuff from someone who does it say? Blue Star?
Blue Star, yeah.
3939 on YouTube put together this nice little handy dandy list of stuff.
And they, it is to say this was like about 16, 17 minute direct. I honestly thought it would be longer, but I guess I didn't know what to expect out of this.
Right.
But at the same time, like there was a lot of stuff we did know.
Yeah.
But there were a few things that were surprising when they went through it, and they didn't really explain too much, right? Like out of the stuff that we're about to talk about, maybe a couple of them they went into detail about, but a lot of the other stuff they didn't. Yeah. And we just kind of had to piece it together.
Yeah.
With the information that, like the 5 seconds that they had to explain it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess like one of the first surprising things was this rewind feature.
Fucking rewind feature, yeah. So like in the trailer, they had they were showing off the wall jumping stuff. We, like I said, we knew that from the first or second trailer we got.
You can like wall ride on anything and grind on anything. I say anything, but it's like maybe not anything, but most things.
Yeah,
it looks like you can.
There are special rails you can jump onto that you can, like when we saw that little grinding feature, you jump onto those, which there's now a dedicated, well, there's always been a dedicated jump button, but now you charge the jump to do the special jump stuff, which is grinding on rails or doing wall riding for short periods of time. And in that, you see is like, oh, this toad is going to jump off the wall onto a shortcut, misses the shortcut, and then the motherfucker just rewinds. Like,
yeah.
Like
in the direct, he doesn't even like give a heads up. He's like, oh, I missed it. And it's like, rewind. We're like,
well, rewind and redo it. We were like,
what?
Huh? I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, you're just gonna rewind mid-race, and yeah, you get a rewind feature mid-race.
I think that's pretty common for a lot of racing games.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't played one.
No.
In most all the racing games I've played, I've never seen, not in the middle of a race.
Mind you, we're talking a live race, multiplayer race.
This is
you get this rewind. Yes.
But it says
it specifically does say single player.
Yeah, now,
does it?
Yeah. Yes, but no, well, single player against computers.
Okay, I assumed we're still talking like internet connection.
No,
playing against other people. Okay, I missed the part where it was for single player. It's still crazy. I've never seen that in a racing game though. I feel like
Forza has it.
That might be why I've never played Forza.
I built a rewind feature into the little jump game that I made in college, but
but no, like specifically,
it was a significantly simpler.
Like the rewind feature you're talking about, does it rewind everything or just your car?
Yeah, like you crash all the cars, you crash into a car, they go into the wall, you rewind, it just rewinds you back. Like
okay, that's what this is doing actually.
Rewinds you
and all the other cars.
Okay, okay, that's the difference. This just rewinds you.
Oh, really?
So yeah, you
all
can't
the other
abuse
cars
this feature.
Keep going. So if you rewind it enough, you will be last place if you rewind it and all the other cars keep going.
Did they tell us how far back you can rewind?
They didn't say that, but it's like the person demonstrated how they were like in like first or even third or something, and they hit the rewind button and they rewound all the way back until they were like 12th place, and people were
and they kept going to hit the thing again. It being a single player makes a lot more sense, I guess. Like if you're doing and we'll talk about these in a little bit. If you're doing missions and the special condition stuff, it makes a lot of sense for you to just be able to, like, instead of having to play the whole fucking race again, you can rewind and try again and not have to worry about just go.
Make it really easy to like start to learn tricks and stuff too.
And then there's that, and it goes into like a lot of really good practice stuff.
Like there are advantages to that outside of a race and or just learning the track, but like there's just like in the race, I guess we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it works and how people use it, because it's like, okay, when you're in the race, what happens if like you're in first place and then you see the blue shell coming and then it's like, can you rewind right before it hits to avoid it? Like how does any of that work, right? You're about to get hit by anything in a Grand Prix against computers, right? Yeah. They're ruthless with a lot of their shit. True. So it's like, okay, but you rewind before I get hit, like 0.5 seconds or something. Does a shell just, now it's a shell in front of me?
You say it
and it zooms?
Like that doesn't already, it doesn't happen with a rewind feature, but there's already like stuff in place for the changing of first place when a blue shell is already activated. So like we already have that.
But like,
how will it work? I'm not certain, but I imagine it's going to work the same as just looking for what place you are at a certain point in which the blue shell is like heading towards you.
Well, I guess, but then it's like, when you hit the rewind, is you and now the blue shell also rewinding, and then the blue shell hits you?
Oh, you're talking like when it's at the point where it's going to hit you.
Yes. Or is it like the blue shell's here circling you, and then right before it hits, you rewind, you're back here, and then the blue shell hits, but you're back here now.
I think you're assuming the blue shell will stop, and I don't think that's going to happen personally.
So then you can avoid items.
I think it's up to you. If you can time it correctly, you can avoid items.
Already, if you time it correctly, avoid
if you have like
blue shells and other things.
How do you
in certain ways?
If you have a speed mushroom, there is a split second from the time it stops its rotating around you to it starts heading down to hit you that you can speed past it.
Oh, wow.
So who here's watched the terminal montage something about?
Yeah.
As it turns out, there's actually a lot of really wacky shit you can do in Mario Kart that is just down to like really insane timing.
Mm-hmm.
I should still have the Switch is dead now. I don't know if I have the backup for that, but I had a clip of a Mario Kart race I was doing in Mario Kart 8 where I got hit. Like if you slow it down and look at it, you see the red shell bump into me. And at the exact same time it bumped me, I activated a super mushroom. So it bumped into me, and apparently there's like a 3-frame like gap between when it touches you and when it explodes and makes you explode with it. I happened to hit the super mushroom just in that frame that I sped away from the explosion and missed it completely. Like that kind of shit like is insane. Like it's a lot of fun when it happens, and it's a very tight window to get it to happen in, but it's a lot of fun and does.
Yeah. But then it's like, imagine though, you don't need a power up. You just have the rewind button.
Once again, the fact this is only in single player only. I said only twice.
Yeah. But even still though, like I don't play online a lot. And if ever I play Mario Kart, I'm either playing with friends or I'm playing solo trying to get all the gold in the Grand Prix. So like, I'm not saying I would use this for whatever, but it's like you could theoretically, is this a thing that you can use to, you don't need a mushroom. You don't need the big mushroom. You don't need.
I mean, you say that. The act of rewinding kind of plays. You rewinding to get away from the blue shell, I feel just gets the exact same effect as getting hit by the blue shell.
Remember, it's always faster to rewind than hit by the blue shell.
I mean, I guess this is another thing where you just got to see when it comes out. But it's like, because I feel like if you rewind, it can explode the moment you rewind, and then you can just drive around the explosion. But it depends on what recovery.
I was going to say, it depends on what recovery looks like. Because if you...
What's your speed like?
I was going to say, if you're recovering, if your rewind gets you back into like your normal speed. But reminder, you're still... When I say it's the same deal is, unless you're just this far past, which is possible when you're racing against computers, if you're losing your spot anyway, you're losing your spot, and having a computer go past you, even if you start back at nominal speed, kind of, I feel like you still wind up in the same situation. But like you said, it's going to come down to what do we see coming out of this.
Yeah. And on that point of dodging stuff with the jump, I didn't think about this. If you can just jump to avoid items, what's the point of the feather item?
Well, I was just about to talk about this, right? Because it's really weird how they went about it.
I thought about this during the direct, and I proceeded to never think about it again until this moment. I'm like, wait, you can charge jumps.
And so I'm going to make a really strong assumption about what they showed off. So they showed off a couple new items. Of course, you're going to get new items in the new Mario Kart game. The Hammer Bro attacks. They showed off like 2 other things. There's the coin bag.
There's like ice flower.
The ice flower is a new thing. And then they showed you that you get the super feather, or the whatever the fuck that thing's called, the P-Wing.
From like Super Mario World.
Now, what they show you is that with the P-Wing, your jump is much higher versus the charge jump you do, which is just to activate grinding stuff. I think if you do the charge jump, you will not get the height required to get over most obstacles. You might be able to use it to jump like oil slicks and stuff, but I think if a shell is chasing you down, you will probably, if you can't just use it to just jump over an obstacle, I think you need to use it to do a wall ride or a grind.
I would agree with you if the person didn't say you can jump to avoid items.
Did they say that?
I feel like they did. And that's where I was like, wait, really?
Still going.
And maybe it wasn't, maybe they did say obstacles, but it's like, at that point, what's an obstacle? What's an item? What was the timestamp?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the...
Those are all levels.
Music.
That's nice. Oh, music. Where's that fucking...
I don't know where I saw it.
It was 1036. 1039.
Well, actually, we don't know where this jumping part is, actually.
I'm assuming it's close. Oh, that's right. We were talking about something different, weren't we?
Yeah. I don't know where we can find it.
They show it off pretty quickly.
They do, which is why I'm like, dang.
You've got to drive the survive and knockout tour. So keep your
Let's
eyes
knockout tour.
aim for first place.
Okay,
Oh, maybe
there
they
it is,
didn't.
there it
Maybe
is,
they
there it
didn't
is.
show it off as quickly as I thought.
Now let's get back to the action.
Oh yeah, costumes. You get costumes by eating different foods at certain pit stops.
Yeah.
New tricks that'll help you ace each race. Charge jump. You can now use a charge jump by holding the grip button while driving straight ahead. Charge and release to jump.
See, the jump they show there is shorter than the P-wing jump.
Leap over obstacles. Grind along power lines. And dodge attacks from your right.
So you see the difference here.
Okay, the way that they showed it versus said it, like if you were watching what they were doing and just heard what they say, you'd be like, wait, so you can just jump over shit now? But I see
this
what
is where
that's the
Whenever this happens, be kind and rewind. This will
okay, you do keep your speed. You do start back in your speed. What they don't show is if it's a set rewind or not.
Yeah, like, is it always 5 seconds? Or...
Right. So that's one of those things we need more information about.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that jump attack is definitely like the obstacle things make sense. You can use it to get a little bit of a boost to get on top of like cars and shit. I think if a red shell or a green shell or any like what the fuck are those boxes called? The random item box item stuff hits you, I'm fairly certain you won't be able to just jump over that with a charge jump.
okay.
That's been my interpretation looking at it though.
I think it would be completely reasonable for you to be able to dodge items with that, because it looks like you have to charge it up and you have to time it, and so it looks like a pretty pure skill thing.
The problem is that would completely invalidate the P-wing. Like if this which we get back to is like
That's what I'm talking
that
about,
would
though.
absolutely invalidate this item.
Oh, is that what the whole point of this item is?
Yeah.
They don't show it here. They showed it earlier before this, and I don't remember where.
There was an item section.
Oh, there it is. And had Mega Mushroom. There it is, Feather.
use the feather to jump up and avoid attacks.
So like you see the height difference on that.
Yeah,
So it may
it is
it
pretty
may be it may work the same way.
It also might just like eliminate the need to charge.
True.
Yeah. Be more riskier to try to do a charge jump, but like high risk, high reward type shit.
Right. Oh yeah, I forgot they have the Wonder Seed in there to just throw in random bullshit.
Well, I guess they pronounced Kimmick. Or
Mech.
they pronounce it.
Serious effects will happen.
Go back one more a little bit.
What other mistake?
Oh my
What
god.
other mysterious?
Oh my god. Comic.
I never heard it pronounced that way
Yeah,
before.
it sounds like they're saying comet with a K.
Like
I've always
comic.
said in fairness, I don't think we've what did the Mario movies say?
I've always only ever heard it like Kamek.
Kamek. I've always said Kamek.
I've always heard Kamek.
Yeah.
So we all heard different things.
We all heard different shit.
Anyway, that was annoying
So,
bit piece. But that like they do that wonder thing, but like anytime you eat something to change uniform, the wonder effect happens too.
Oh, does that come off of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is still sick. You get like costumes. Now, my biggest thing about that is initially I'm looking at it and I'm like, there's no way every character gets a costume, right? Like it has to be for like, because they only really show like the main cast, like the people I expect to get a costume.
Maybe it's a hat for other characters.
It could be. It could be.
I don't know though. I don't know. That's a good. I feel like we would have seen something from.
Right.
Okay. Lakitu
Yep.
or
Like,
whatever.
dude, but you notice what are they called? Buzzy Beetles?
Yeah.
Paratroopers, whatever. He doesn't get one. Yoshi, I would expect Yoshi to get one. I expect these guys to get one. Like when I say every character, like I'm not expecting like Spiny or Mukau. I imagine they will get some character costumes, but I don't think they're going to get everyone.
What do
like Mario
costumes
does.
do?
They're nice little cosmetic. As far as I can tell, I think they're just cosmetic.
Is he eating that pizza?
He's eating food. So they show off that these little Yoshi stands will be set up when you're in the free roam section. These little Yoshi stands will be set up where you can drive through and get food, and that's how you can like. It's definitely for the words escape me.
Cosmetic?
No, it's to incentivize free roaming and exploring the world.
I think it's also in races too, I feel. But regardless.
Yeah. Which that'll be sick. And the costume you get is based off the food
I'm so
that's given
hungry,
to you.
dog.
Honestly, so am I. What was the next thing? We have not gotten to the second item in this list yet.
No. So there was a worry that because of the whole you got to drive to the next track or whatever, and when you drive that track, that acts as 2 out of the 3 laps for that next track.
Oh, that does act as a lap of its own.
Yes,
okay.
in Grand Prix it does.
Okay.
Which nobody really liked. Everybody was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. So what you're saying is you ride the first 3 laps of the very first race in the Grand Prix like it should be, and then every other race after that, every other track, it's mainly just getting there. Because you lap the first track 3 times.
Yeah. Oh, the first lap of the next track is just getting there.
The first 2.
The first 2?
Yes. The first 2. That's what we saw in all the directs they showed. The first 2 laps of all the other tracks are just getting there, which means that they're mainly just like straight roads, more or less.
Oh, that's a great way to fuck that up.
Right. And so everybody was like, and we were worried because they didn't show verses. They were like, we didn't know if you could just do regular verses or you just choose the different tracks within, whenever you wanted to do it, like regular Mario Kart. And they showed that you can. There is versus mode still too.
Yeah.
For those who want to do you're dropping on this track, now you're dropping on that track, now you're dropping, and you're lapping 3 times.
You do have classic circuit.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning this the last time we were watching it. There's a Rainbow Road.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a Rainbow Road, and they show off like you have to beat all the other stages, and then
because I was like, how are you getting there? And then they showed when you beat all.
Which to me, it was just like there's probably just going to be a rainbow bridge into the sky, and you race that way.
I don't know what it is about the costumes or their presentation, but it's making me feel deeply nostalgic. I love the art that they produced for this so far.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
The art stuff is looking really good.
A lot of people, for some reason, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's diss it because of like the art for some reason, but I'm like,
what's wrong with it?
This is Mario Kart. Like, I don't know what.
This is just more Mario Kart. What?
And there's like there's an additional level of polish that I don't think we've seen from a game like this before that I think is really nice. I think the shaders, I think this is gorgeous.
This looks amazing.
This feels correct for an upgrade to Mario Kart. If you're
Where's
asking
they
me,
can do this with Pokemon?
We're not gonna get into that tonight. Where were you seeing like complaints?
I've just randomly been seeing like I've been watching a lot of review videos on people talking about the directs and just different creators who, because I like what I see. For the most part, all of it.
It has to be just fishing for things to complain about.
I was gonna say it's like, there's no way that sounds like people who would already not be playing and or liking Mario Kart.
I think it sounds more like people who are. I don't even think rage baiting. I think it's just people that are still staunchly upset with the $80 price tag,
and that is one of the biggest complaints.
And they're finding new things because I think like the quality of the game went into like Doug Bowser's explanation as to why the $80 makes. Is factored into this, right?
Yeah, like a lot of the complaints that I have seen is like people still trying to figure out why Nintendo is trying to justify the $80 tag.
Right.
A lot of people were like going into this direct thinking that there would be some kind of explanation of, because it's $80, there will be further future support, like all DLC or the first couple DLC is going to be free because the $80 and I'm like, I
think they're just charging what it cost them to to
build the fucking game.
Right.
That's like the need. it reminds me that there's a lot of people that are just woefully they're woefully lacking in knowledge of how like production works and what the cost that goes into creating this shit is like. And I said it before, and I think I've said it at least on the last 2 episodes, and I'll say it here too. Games could not remain $60 forever. If you are out of your fucking gourd, if you think the price that games have been since the 90s, and if I'm being charitable, I'll say since mid-aughts, because that's about the time that we started seeing like 60 as just across the board a brand new game is going to be, at least a AAA like first party game, right? There was still some holdouts from like I think Sega days and like first PlayStation that were still coming out at like 55. It wasn't even that much less, but like it's been 60s since the mid-aughts. We are 20 fucking years past that.
We are.
Name me any other product, any consumer product that has remained the same price in the last 2 decades.
The only reason that we haven't seen that in games is because businesses have figured out other ways to scrape money from consumers with scummy business tactics. Exactly. Like live service games, like loot boxes. Like everybody talks about how much they hate loot boxes and then they don't want to pay.
But then FIFA drags in a couple billion fucking dollars every year with the same game just thrown on a different disc. Yeah. Like, and then live service games continues to remain the main moneymaker. And like, I think someone did not necessarily a breakdown, but they like pointed out the logic of when games are $60, a thing that we started seeing a lot with a lot of AAA games were like day one DLCs and different types of DLCs that basically finished what essentially was like the game. Like the amount of times we've seen DLC that ended a story from the game and it's treated as like this extra bit. And it's like, you were paying $60 and then another 20 for the DLC just to finish the game you had. You're already paying this for these games. I truly think one is a twofold thing of seeing the $80 price tag as it is and not being hoodwinked into it. And the idea that Nintendo was somehow just never going to be the one to change when Nintendo was the one who helmed the $60 price tag to begin with. Like it, I don't know, people, I get it. It's really hard to see that kind of a price tag and see that kind of a price hike, even though like seeing a 25% price hike on games, it does feel like insane, but also like, what else can you expect? What the fuck else can we expect? It had to happen eventually. But
well, it's like, and people really, some people, I knew somebody who was, they made a game, they released it on Steam. They were talking about somebody who had contacted them and was like, yeah, I saw your stuff. I just wanted to ask you some questions. I'm thinking about trying to make a game like an MMO RPG version of Grand Theft Auto.
You could have stopped that. Well, firstly, what? But and secondly, you could have stopped that MMO.
And the guy is like, well, you know, that's not really practical for one person. Like, Grand Theft Auto costs this many millions of dollars. For a game.
And,
yeah, basically. And
I have an idea for a game. GTA 6. I'm thinking about making that.
I just want to make GTA 6. It's like, sir, you realize that's already a thing.
I mean, Grand Theft Auto is already multiplayer MMO.
It's called GTA Online. It's like, that's been a thing. Like, okay, like even if I'm being charitable, it's like, okay, you want to make a game in the style of GTA Online. Do you understand how much that will cost you just in operation costs?
Yeah.
You have to run servers for this shit.
Yeah, but the guy was like, yeah, this is how big the team was. This is how much money they spent on it. And this person was like, oh, I guess I can't do that.
And you got to think the average gamer / consumer does not know that.
It's just like
you have to accept they don't know that.
Game studio of like 5 people, right? that makes video games.
Rockstar's like 5 people.
Yeah,
that's totally how it used to be.
So yeah, it was just like 3 programmers, and one of them could do pixel art. You're right. Yeah, no, it's like the amount of money that goes into this industry, considering the rising cost of fucking everything. It's like,
it's inevitable,
right? Like, I don't like it either. And I mentioned this. I don't remember if it was the episode with just us three or the one you were before you went on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the biggest thing is that when you think about it logically, yeah, of course the price of video games is going to go up. Literally everything across the board has gone up.
Yep.
What sucks is that we as consumers, like, we don't have the ability to just raise our prices the way corporations do. And it's like, on the one hand,
raise our income,
right? Like we can't, like, when I say raise our prices, like our wages,
yeah,
that's the part of the equation that,
I mean, we kind of do. We just have to like work together to do it.
There isn't a whole lot. You want to coordinate a couple billion people, like, to get that done.
I mean, that is the point of our political parties, but that's besides the point.
Oh boy, does that get into a real fun territory, doesn't it? Oh boy, there's some real uncomfortable truths we're gonna have to talk about there, buddy. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's just the unfortunate of you need a lot of coordination across a lot of entities. That is, yeah. Like, I get the frustration. Like, I'm not acting like I'm happy to be paying fucking more. It sucks to be paying more.
I'll chill about it.
But I'm not going to also act like I don't understand where this is. I'm not going to act like Penguin Z, who's like, Nintendo's the most evil thing ever.
The greedy
I
pig.
saw that too.
Is becoming the stupidest thing I've seen. Mm-hmm. Like, I respect Charlie. Charlie has a lot of takes that I agree with. This was one of the few ones where I'm like, Charlie, you are missing the mark so fucking bad for someone who's coming from a place where you're literally hawking products to people constantly. And I know for a fact the shit you sell has gone up in price over the years. Let's quit acting like Nintendo's doing something that no one has ever done before. But
yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I couldn't even watch the full Charlie.
I couldn't get past the fucking title. Like, I was like, I'm not even going to invite
I
this
clicked
into my
on
life
it
right now.
He called them greedy pigs, and I clicked off of it. I was like, because it's so ridiculous to just not expect prices to change. Right. It's insane. Because it's happening at the same time that people have gotten used to just not paying for anything. Right, because we have this unique blend of people being like, I can listen to music constantly for free. I can play as many games as I want on my phone for free. I can constantly consume entertainment for free. We get used to paying companies with our personal information as they mine our resources, or as they mine our information like a natural resource. And then a company's like, hey, we are not doing that. So we're going to raise prices under the normal rules or the old rules, and people are like, "What?" Like,
yeah, it's been really ridiculous. Luckily, a lot of the other creators that I follow in the video game space, like Austin John Plays, has been very level headed about it. Like, he's been like he was one of the first ones to be like, "Yeah, what did y'all expect? Like, what did we expect? The price of games was going to go up." Acting like there was, now it's a thing that I've seen, but it's usually immediately like, people are like, well, I don't see that as a problem. It's the price of the console. People are like, $450 for the console. And everybody's like, yeah, what the fuck do you expect? Like, and then but then it's always followed up with like, now it's the price of the games. I don't understand. And I'm like, okay, let's take this one step further. What did you expect? It's just the first time we're like, if games had gone up $1 every couple of years, you would not be seeing this. Mm-hmm. It would make total sense that by 2025 games will be $80. It's just and I parallel this with the disc golf league I'm a part of, because we had to raise the price of round fees. So every round you play with the disc golf league I'm in, you have to pay in a fee. It used to be $5. It was $5 for like 10 straight years. This was the first year that we had to raise the price from $5 to $10 per round. And it's so, I'm seeing the literal same thing in the disc golf side as I'm seeing here, of you're getting most people that are just being shocked by seeing the number go up. Mm-hmm. And admittedly, seeing it go from 5 to 10, a doubling seems like a lot. Like, that does seem like a lot, but in the exact same way as we're seeing with like cost of making a game, I had to explain to people, it was like, you guys have to understand, the club has been operating at a loss for years. Like, in this club does not break in the money that Nintendo does, and does not have it's just a disc golf shop that decided it wanted to build a disc golf community in West Michigan, and has been running that way with some decent donations from disc golf companies. Like, and I'm talking like not even in the 6 figures, like 5-figure donations per year, or like sponsorships or whatever stipends per year, right? Is like, many of you want disc golf to be better and for us to fix up the courses and to do maintenance on all the courses around here. You have to understand all that shit costs. The pouring of concrete for new tee pads costs. Commissioning, designing, and putting in new tee signs cost. Replacing baskets cost. Like, all of this stuff costs. Getting new courses online costs. Designing new courses cost.
And those services prices go up yearly. Like even like not the product side of shit, just getting the approval from the cities to do stuff, because a lot of disc golf happens in public parks that are governed by the city. To get approval for that requires the league I almost said captain, the league president. He has to spend time and effort rubbing shoulders with city officials and sitting in at council meetings and shit just to get this stuff done. This is time and money that has to go into all of this. And so, like, there was people I understood complaining because I know they had no idea what was going on. There were people that I know knew the background of things that our president was doing. That those were the ones that upset me the most, because it's like, I know you know what goes into this.
Yeah.
And you're complaining, but he was a boomer too. So
yeah. Well, I mean, and to bring things all the way back around, right? Like designing all of those new costumes for the game, that costs money. Animating all of the new models that they created,
animating and rigging,
creating the models, rigging, shaders, paying for the electricity that powers the computers,
right?
Paying for the office,
running the servers that these games are going to have to run through for multiplayer. It costs money. That world size, the building it for the models and the modeling teams and all that shit costs money. And either we want people paid properly or we don't.
Recording, editing, voice acting, and putting together the Nintendo Direct that we just watched costs money.
Yeah, all of these things cost. And as much as we do not get our wages raised properly, at least here in the US, wages have still gone up, at least in certain sectors. And like,
well, the tech sector specifically, I think, has done one of the better. I can't speak to games specifically. Games have gone up, but usually games relative to the rest of tech are low.
And that's also the assumption of what happens here. I have no idea like how it goes down in Japan.
Yep.
Like I heard it's still not pretty great in Japan, but I don't know. But point being is all of these things cost, and over the years, all of these costs have risen.
Yeah.
We have to stop. Like we is one thing for like the 18 and 19 year olds who are just starting to buy who's only been buying games for like the last 2 years or some shit to complain about this. That's one thing. But the 30 to fucking 40-year-olds who have been in this game as long as I have and have been buying video games since like 2010 and have been in the workforce since 2015. And honestly, even like 2010, actually. Like, why are we acting shocked? Why are we? But I say that.
I've been watching blogs for years that have been like, games are going to costing more.
Yeah.
Games are going to start costing more. And now it's here and people are like,
what? Why are games costing more?
Right.
Why is everything in the world costing more, my G? Like,
they don't charge more. You can have Mario Kart World, but you're not going to get Mario Kart Universe.
Like,
yeah. Like, I think on that too, it was surprising to me that, Mario Kart's 80, but then Donkey Kong is 70. And so I'm like, on a technical standpoint, from what I know about making games and the, system, the programming, the engine, I'm surprised that they aren't just also making that 80 because of what I've seen the game, like you can do in that game.
I agree with that.
I don't know.
I'm curious to see what the size of the Donkey Kong game is going to be. And once again, the multiplayer aspects of Mario Kart and what it takes to run a multiplayer game is to me what's going to make that $10 difference.
The volume of content, because the
And
art
then,
based content, I think, to my understanding, is some of the most expensive to create.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay somebody to sit down, design, animate, rig, everything that's going on there. You can't really automate that process. Not if you want to get a good quality result. Not if you want to get the kind of work that Nintendo produces. So it wouldn't surprise me if with the amount, just through the cosmetic stuff alone, that justifies their price tag. That doesn't shock me.
Like the amount of characters and then outfits.
Yeah.
Like, especially being like hero characters versus being like some dumb little enemy you can kind of skimp on a little.
Like it's multiple.
Then you add in the amount of vehicles and the transformations they all go through. Like,
and the fact that everything's gorgeous.
And then you stack on that everything's fucking gorgeous. Like,
maybe if it was $60, it would be gorgeous.
And to wrap this all the way back around to why this rant even started, if I hear anyone say that this game doesn't look good, I'm already side-eyeing them and I don't believe a word. And I'm not going to fucking trust anything you say after that. Because if we can't even start with like just telling the truth of this game looks great before we get to your complaint, then I know you're starting from just a bad faith argument.
I just wish it would look more realistic.
I just wish it would look more like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Then they'd buy it.
Now that's a game that should not be 80. Fuck, that's a game that shouldn't even be
Do we know what
$70.
that is?
I don't think we know what the price of that is, and they're probably going to keep that shit
I was going to say.
until it comes out. We'll see.
$100. No.
We will see. Given it's Pokemon, it will probably.
Don't do it, Game Freak.
Be 70.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't
Don't
do
do
it.
it. They're probably going to, but don't do it. I can't defend.
It should be. It should be 50.
Honestly.
Honestly.
One of the other things was
I was gonna say I did not mean to get on that whole ass rant.
No, I mean it was a good to talk about, honestly, because it's one of the biggest matters right now with Nintendo 2 and the games and everything. The pricing is.
I mean, it really cuts pretty directly into the next thing we were going to talk about, right? Or do we want the things we wanted to finish up?
There's just a couple things that we can skip.
I was gonna say let's
through
quick on this. 4 teams instead of 2. I did not realize that.
Which I didn't know you could do teams in Mario Kart initially.
Oh yeah.
Like when you're racing, I didn't know you could
How did
team
you not
up.
know that? And I knew that.
No, I think we've done that.
I don't know.
I think we've done me, you, and Michaela have done we just try to get someone to stay first place and to active support. I've never tried the team racing stuff.
I haven't either, but now you can do 4 because there's 24 racers, so there's more teams now.
24 races is crazy.
It is insane, but it's also kind of sick. Missions, there are missions scattered across the world that you can do,
which I thought was kind of cool.
Adds
a reason to do free roam. Like, because at first I was like, okay, I mean, riding around the world's cool.
Getting the costumes to me was like a good incentive, but it's like there's still
what else is there? And it's like, okay, missions.
There's missions and stuff you can go do, little scenic areas, and getting to ride around with players and stuff.
People want 100% it.
We already knew about the trucks and bows, but this also confirms helicopters. Everything else we already knew.
So like you can ride, you can go kart into like a big truck.
Yeah, there was a big old semi
truck.
Yep.
We saw the thing about boats. You ride into a big boat. You're now driving a big ass boat. And then we also saw very briefly someone drive into a helicopter and then fly the helicopter.
Nice.
So
we know about that stuff. A couple other things. I think there were 24 stages that I could count from one of the screenshots. I do not know what the official count for stages is. Yeah, I think when I counted this, I came out to 24, not including Rainbow Road. That's assuming that this is showing all available courses.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty decent number of courses. If you go by circuits, like break those up into like 4 courses a circuit.
And they're 6? All like new. Like
there are some classics in here. They're not all new.
Named or like, because in name there are classics, but like in design.
Fair enough.
Because I think they've made a point to say like, yeah, some of the names are similar. Like Mario Bros. Circuit, like that's a name that's carried over in almost every Mario Kart.
No, they had courses and they mentioned classic courses.
Toad Factory was one they mentioned, but is it the same exact Toad Factory or is it?
I mean, is it 1-to-1? When I say it's the same, I'm not worried about whether it's 1-to-1.
Okay, yeah.
Like to me, of course, there's going to be some updating to it. I think if you're looking for like Toad's Factory, because I think they mentioned Wario Stadium is in here. Like if you're looking for Wario Stadium, I'm not looking for 1-to-1 from like 64 or whatever the fuck.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
what's with the wheel? Are they bringing back?
Yes. They technically never went away with that. I just don't think there was ever a wheel accessory for the Switch. Maybe there was. I'm not certain.
3D
but yeah,
screen.
they're showing off that all the usual. You can do tilt control. You got all the auto stuff. So auto steering, auto acceleration is still in here.
Mm-hmm. But I made that point to say like Mario Kart 8, not including DLC. I think they basically, I want to say copied and pasted, but like, you know, copied from previous Mario Karts and like touched them up and made them parts of the Grand Prix that shipped with the initial game. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, they did a lot of originals, but like a good portion of those courses were also just copied and pasted
they're bringing up
from previous Mario Karts. As to where that's not what this is.
Okay. Yeah.
That was my point with that.
Okay.
It seems like almost
there's
every
a
course,
lot of there's a lot of brand new courses.
Yeah.
Coming here. Which
like
is
Sky
be
High
sick.
Sunday looks very close to the DLC that dropped for Mario Kart 8, but it's not the same, right? They did a lot. They changed it up quite a bit.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying though, right? You're saying so there's one that is similar to a previous track, but is a new track.
Yeah, new track, new layout, new design.
Which I expect. And I'm saying that
similar.
there's some that are straight up, as far as I understand, they're going to be using the same layout, just probably updated for modern mechanics.
Oh, okay.
Like Wario Stadium they showed that off. I forget exactly where, but they showed off Wario Stadium. As a matter of fact, they made it a point to say classic stages are going to be making an appearance too. So it's going to be a mix of, they're modernizing some old stages and throwing in some brand new ones and stuff. Trying to think, was there anything else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. They showed off some modes, kind of what you expect. Character roster is insane. 4 teams, 150cc, probably going to have, I'm assuming that we're going to have 200cc. I don't think they showed that off, but I can't imagine they're going to get rid of 200cc.
Yeah.
Different course types. And then, so that's pretty much that. And then like you mentioned Fluff, or is there anything else you wanted to say before?
Well, I don't know. Is there anything else on there that,
no, there was more specifically the pricing stuff.
Yeah.
Because with that whole rant to get into pricing, one, Nintendo Switch pre-orders go live tonight at midnight. So that's happening.
The 23rd of April.
Yeah, technically 24th.
The 24th.
24th of April.
12 a.m.
At midnight. I fucking hate.
So I have a question for you guys.
What's that?
What do you think we're going to see happen to those prices in reference to like tariffs?
So we do know that the console prices will not be moved because of tariffs.
Okay. Well, like, is that right now?
They have made an official, like, we are not going to change the prices of them based on the tariffs. I'm actually fairly certain that
the games or console.
One, the tariffs are on pause for 90 days because fantastic administration.
Just like
they think everything through so well. Two, I want to say there's also going to be, even when it goes back into effect, it's not going to include. It was a list of 3 things, but it said chips, like computer chips and stuff like that. So I think electronics, because once again, our current administration thinks everything out so fucking well.
Don't you? He wrote a book.
He
wrote a book on how good he's
Art of the Deal.
Art of the Deal.
You make a deal. You're
making
an artist.
deals. Yeah, you throw out demands and put them in place, and then realize they're fucking stupid and immediately rescind on all of them. So yeah, as far as we know that for game and console, those prices will not move. For accessories though,
them prices move.
Them prices gonna be moving. And even before the price moves, they were already like this is the one crazy part where you can look at and go, some of these prices are
the
bad.
Dock set. What does the dock set include? Is that just the?
That's a great question. I think it's just the dock and maybe the cables that come with it.
Probably the dock, the cables, but does it include like controllers or something? Because that's $119.
Yeah, I doubt it because the controllers themselves, the pair is $94.99.
Yeah. So all that stuff I said about like insane, this is one where I don't have a defense for these ones. And again, this is a little insane.
This is tariffed.
Yeah.
So like,
are these the tariff prices, or are you saying that this is before we even add the
MSRP
tariff?
as of April 18th.
Yeah,
so
I think
probably-
this is before we even get the tariff. I want to say these are the prices from like April 2nd when these were first like announced, meaning that these are going to be even higher.
Really?
Do I have to use the Nintendo micro SD card?
Yes.
You
have not
not
does
the
it specifically
Nintendo
have to be
brand.
Nintendo brand. It has to be a very specific type of micro
It
SD
has to be an express.
card. You will probably be able to find third party ones. You'll probably be able to find Samsung or Kingston. Well, I guess these are Samsung. You'll probably be able to find non-Nintendo official ones.
There are already micro SD express cards that are just out of stock because of this announcement.
I'm gonna work with the 256 gigs that comes with the Switch 2, and then I'll figure it out from there.
Yeah.
and are we going to be able to port over games from our regular Switch to the Switch 2?
Yes.
You can just straight up play old Switch games on the Switch 2. Okay. Yes,
it is backwards.
compatible.
All the data transfers
What about
too.
the old Pro controller?
Probably not. Well, I don't know. I saw rumors that the old Joy-Cons work with the new Switch, which I'm like, I don't know how that's possible.
I was gonna say, 'cause I don't know if
I mean,
wanna drop-
you can connect them wirelessly. You just need a way to charge them. Like if it can,
But like,
they're essentially Bluetooth as far as I understand.
but like how?
I mean, you
just
wouldn't
hold the button down when on the parent.
you wouldn't
screen.
be able to dock them to the.
Yeah, you
Bro,
don't have
what
to-
are you
console.
talking about?
If you're talking about playing in handheld mode, probably not. You can still use the controllers.
But that would be nice because if you have a ton of Joy-Cons and you want to play multiplayer,
Yeah,
How do you sync it to the?
there's like 3 different ways you can sync the controllers. You can either dock them and do it quick. That's the like fastest way. But there's the button. If we pulled it out, there's a button like on the Joy-Con where the SR buttons are.
Oh,
that you just hold down during the pairing process.
I never used those, but
I mean, it is the slowest method.
okay, yeah.
It's the slowest method.
Assuming the
to pair,
sync, algorithms or whatever are similar, I guess.
I'm fairly
that
certain
could
it's
work.
just Bluetooth. Like it's just straight up Bluetooth.
Then I guess
I'm
it
just not
isn't.
sure if I
similar.
want to drop $600+ right now to grab the Switch and a Pro controller.
And that
I'm not
Right.
grabbing a Pro controller. I'm gonna make do with a handheld. I'm willing to drop the 500. Most of this shit, I don't give a fuck about.
like for me, it's like I know that I like to have like the party games and stuff, and have the Joy-Cons for everybody who wants to play.
Right.
Which means I usually want to have at least 6 Joy-Con controllers. But if it's gonna cost
If
me
it's running you fucking $100 per pair,
if it's gonna cost $300 for 6 Joy-Cons,
You're gonna have to get a better job to fund your Switch.
yeah,
honestly,
You're gonna
I'm
have
like,
to look at choosing between a house and a Switch.
yeah.
It will be that.
Welcome to
essentially.
adulthood,
or
homeboy.
like a good down payment,
Yeah.
like
It's like, I'm gonna work with the bundle for now. Party games, y'all gonna have to either fucking chip in or fend for yourselves. I don't give a goddamn.
BYOC, bring your own
controllers, motherfuckers. Like, I'll supply the Switch, but you gotta get the controller yourself. Yeah, these prices are who lad.
Hachi Mama.
Yeah. I can understand the Joy-Cons. I would, if I'm being charitable, I would say I understand the Joy-Cons.
Wait, if you do the Mario Kart World bundle, does that include the $80 game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is
So
why
you're
like,
getting the game for like $50, which is why if I'm getting anything, I'm getting that bundle.
Okay.
and that's why that will also be sold out immediately.
Pretty much immediately, yeah. So I'm gonna try my best.
Where are we gonna appear?
There's Best Buy, Walmart. We'll deal with that. We'll try to get out of here
Anyways,
quickly.
we'll do that after we
Right.
The charging grip. For what do we even know what that is?
Yeah, it's the same thing like you got with the Switch one. It was the one where so there's the one you're gonna get with the console that just turns your Joy-Cons into a controller.
Yeah.
The charging grip is the one that you can plug in and charge your Joy-Cons at the same time, right? That was either 30 or 40 for the Switch, if I recall correctly. I think it might have been 30 for the Switch. So that's getting a $10 price increase. I'm not spending 14 fucking bucks on the straps.
I'll get some rubber bands.
Right?
into it
Like I'll
myself.
get some fucking yarn or some shit.
Yarn.
You just fucking just suck my nuts, bitch.
$14.
shoelace.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even say
So-
straps. It says Joy-Con to strap.
They're sold
Singular.
separately?
Singular. Like, we're out of our fucking gourds. Carrying case is not that crazy to me.
Wait, so does the
And
strap
screen
not come
protectors?
with the joints
Yeah.
on that?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't care because I don't use the strap anyway, so
Right.
it's fine.
But like when you're
What? You gotta
When
suck
you-
the strap, man.
you gotta strap up. It'd be crazy if it doesn't come with it.
I
I'm hoping
don't
that's for
use the
extras.
strap. Somebody else
Strapless.
uses.
the strap.
Uh,
They use it on me.
Other
okay?
people do, so I always have
So
to
you
come
let
with
them-
it on me.
You let them pay for it.
Yes.
I
Always keep that thing on me.
BYOS.
They're on strap. Will said $25. I don't think is that crazy. Shockingly,
Yeah.
I don't see why you need it, but the camera $55, not that crazy of a price. I'm not doing anything with a Switch 2 camera.
No.
The dock set, I want to know what makes it a set because that bitch better come with some
Yeah.
decent shit.
I need to know what that is.
$40 for the carrying case and the screen protector. Honestly, I feel like the screen protector kind of makes it worth $40.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to be carrying it around
All
everywhere.
in one carrying case being $85.
What does that entail? Because like,
They showed it off
does
in
that assume
one of the directs.
you're getting the Pro Controller along with like, I don't know, because the one that I have has
Yeah.
like a space for the Pro Controller,
Yes. When they
two
showed
spaces for Pro Controllers,
when
one
they
space.
showed it off, it looked like the one you got.
Okay.
So it has like
the one I got, I
dock
was kind of
space and all that.
disappointed with because it had dock, Pro, Switch, and then just like some areas on the sides. And I had like 2 Pro controllers, sometimes 3, usually corded, a bunch of Joy-Cons, and fitting all that in there was a challenge.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
I would have preferred something a lot closer to like a Pelican case,
Yeah.
like where you just had like the foam shit you can stick in and out.
That'd be that would have been really nice. But then they can't force you to buy their stupid shit.
But that's assuming you get a lot of accessories.
Yeah.
So that $84.99 is assuming you technically already paid like $200 to $300 worth of
just for
accessories.
a bunch of shit. Like that is
I don't know. I'm probably gonna swing for the Wario. I was before we started talking about this, I was just gonna ignore it.
Mhm.
But I'm probably gonna swing for the Wario Kart World Bundle.
Wario Kart. We gotta get a Wario Kart. Yeah.
And then
AC
if,
adapter $35 is insane.
it's crazy, but honestly, when I look at that and then I think about how much I would spend on going to pick up a charger at Meijer, it's actually not that crazy. It's
Really?
just crazy that that's a reasonable. To me, it's crazy that that's a market price for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
comes with an AC adapter.
It fucking better.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you
What
say
they're
that.
showing us is like the bundle, but you also have to pay all this
Right.
for the Joy-Cons, for the charging of the
Question
No
for you.
wonder the console's the
Izzy.
same price.
When you have a Pixel, right? What phone do you have?
Yeah. I have
When you got
seven.
that,
it
when did you
doesn't
get it?
come with a brick.
I was about to ask. Did
It
it come
comes
with a brick?
cord, but not a brick.
My last Samsung, the S22, I don't even think came with a cord. I don't remember if it came with a cord or not. I don't think it did.
So are you thinking
Like I'm wondering
that
if we're
this could
seeing
just
this.
come with a cord and not a brick?
There's no way they can because you have to supply the fucking dock.
Especially if the Switch had the problem where if you charge it on just whatever,
If you have the incorrect if it had the incorrect like
Voltage.
voltage or something like
It
that.
ruins the battery.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
My Switch battery is definitely fucking towing.
if this motherfucker doesn't come with its own AC adapter in the bundle,
That would be great.
I'm gonna be team Charlie. Like I'm going back to
Yeah.
Penguin Z. Like, okay, now this is the most evil shit I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
It has to.
And then yeah, the Express, the SD card shit. I feel like 60's not. No, 60 is kind of insane for 256 gigs. I got 256 gigs for like $20. Like I got like 3 of them.
Yeah, it is.
But they weren't Express cards, but
It's a beat much, my guy.
like 64 256 gigs is insane. When you can get like a 2 terabyte SD card for like $60 right now. So that's a little crazy. Yeah.
Somebody just got fucking airlifted, dog.
That's the sound of death. Yeah, no, these prices, the accessory prices are a little nutso.
Mm-hmm.
I can defend the console and the games, but those ones I have a real hard time.
That's why the console isn't more expensive than it is.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Putting
Maybe.
a lot of hope in people getting that shit, which I'm sure people will. I'm gonna be really curious how the camera sells.
Yeah,
That's what I'm most curious about.
yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, let's try to end this off pretty quickly. Make the midnight deadline to pre-order shit. You finished a few games.
I did.
We only have time to talk about one of them, though.
That's true. And one of them I shall talk about a little bit here.
All right.
So, Kirby, Forgotten Lands.
Nice.
I got this pretty much shortly after I got the Switch, I think, or whenever this
Same.
dropped. I got it shortly after that.
It has been years.
Yes, it was a long time ago is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I have not finished it until now. I only played it maybe for like a few days when I got it and stopped.
I haven't finished mine yet, and I'm on like the last world.
Really?
I just stopped playing and never went back.
Nice. But no, I played it. I 100%ed it. And it's a cute game, y'all. It's charming.
It's so adorable.
It's very charming and adorable. DDD looks a little interesting in this one, but you know what? It's fine.
King DDD.
It's fine. It's cute. And they have two different modes. They have like easy mode, like spring breeze mode or something,
Yeah.
and then wild mode. And I think wild mode is just normal, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's not a hard game. You breezed through pretty much the entire main story, and the final boss, not that difficult, no.
Yeah.
But after you beat the game, if you want 100% it, oh boy, if you thought it would just stay easy, it's not. They don't keep it that way. At least I found that to be the case, because I was like, oh, let me just finish up the last couple things. I'll put spoilers here. Do you care about spoilers, really?
No, I don't.
Okay.
You want a spoiler warning this?
Spoiler, but you know what to expect from a Kirby game.
Right.
It's cute and adorable for most of the time, and then the very end, you gotta fight a freaking demon from hell type shit, right?
Is this custom?
Yeah. And that kind of is what happens, even in the base story mode. It's not that hard of a fight, right? In the story mode. But then when you beat the story, you're not 100% cleared. There is an arena, right? That is in your city that you're building. And in order to 100% the game, you have to complete that arena too, right? And there are like 3 different stages, like 3 different levels of it, right? There's basically easy, normal, and then hard. Rightfully so. But that last mode doesn't appear until you finish the game. And essentially, to my surprise at least, it's not you're just fighting the final boss again as the last fight in that 3rd arena. You're fighting the boss on crack, plus he gets an extra phase.
Hell yeah.
That is not even like the thing. It did the Kirby thing. It did the Kirby shit.
Okay.
But like made it harder.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like it did the Kirby thing at the end of the main game. You're like, okay, yeah, we expected this. But then it surpassed my expectation.
Interesting.
When it came to the arena. I had a hard time for the first couple times during that fight. And the thing that sucks is if you want to leave that fight and come back supercharged up, you got to go through the entire arena again.
Oh.
So, and you only have a limited number of health stacks, like little fruits to eat. So like you got to be very careful with how you're like giving yourself health throughout the whole thing. You could fight a fight, then come out of that fight with like a little bit of, not a lot of health left. As soon as you consume a fruit, it only charges up your meter a little bit, and you only have like 6 of those fruits for the whole arena versus the other arenas.
It's really testing your ability to not get hit.
Yes. So that surprised the heck out of me that like they actually made me work, which I wasn't expecting that from this, but like,
did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, no, it was fun. Especially after I was like, okay, how the hell do you beat this thing? And then there were some mechanics that I just totally glazed over.
Yeah.
In the
initial, were glazing them?
I was glazing them, yes. I said glaze, and I was like, no, wait, that's not how we use glaze anymore. And I was like, no, that's how you use it. Yeah. fucking
Unless you want to say glossed over, doesn't
glossed over, I guess. Yeah. But like Gen Z, Gen A alpha terminology is fucking me over.
the
right now.
whoever's right.
Whatever. But basically, I paid no mind to certain mechanics throughout the whole game until that battle when I had to use it in order to win, which is good. I was like, wait, no, I forgot all about this mechanic until this fight, which makes it way easier. So yeah, no, great game.
I'm curious what the mechanic is, but I'm not gonna make you answer that.
I'll just tell you. We're in the spoiler section anyway. It's just the dodge mechanic.
Really?
You know when Kirby's like side step or whatever. You don't need it.
You really don't.
You don't need it.
From what I remember, you do not. I mean, that's a Kirby game for you, though, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's been so long since I've played a Kirby game, though. Like a full Kirby adventure game, right? Like the last one I remember was maybe Squeak Squad for like the DS.
Right.
That's the last one I remember playing pretty much all the way through.
Fair.
But I feel like that was so long ago, and I feel like there have been so many Kirby games since then. Epic Yarn I had too for the Wii. I was going to say
there was Epic Yarn for the Wii.
But I did not. I only played like the first world of that.
I played through that one. It was the easy side of Kirby. It was a very easy game.
Okay, yeah.
Even when you 100% it, like, it's not crazy at all.
Okay.
There was it Return to Dreamland on the Wii U or this? No. There was another Kirby game. It was one where they introduced like where Kirby gets his Smash now in Ultimate.
Oh yeah,
his Final Smash. It's the game that came from, which was I think it was Return to Dreamland. No. Either way, there was another one after Epic Yarn. Then there was the robot one.
I kept seeing something about the robot one.
There was like 2 or 3 like side games or like micro games on the Switch that they had. There was like the one that was like a mobile game. That
I remember. I had those too. Yeah.
There was the gourmet race, the food race one. And there was at least one more. I can't remember what it was though. Yeah, there has not been a ton of like mainline Kirby games.
So maybe this is just one of the few big adventure games that he's had. This I guess
type. Yeah, I mean, technically, this is really like the first of its kind for Kirby.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Like as far as like this kind of 3D world style.
So is it a different format?
A little bit, yeah.
A little
like
bit.
You're still going from like point A to point B through a level, and it's platforming and stuff. But in this 3D environment, 3D movement like this is excuse me, pretty new for Kirby.
Like this, is it like Odyssey?
I was gonna say think classic Mario 2D side scroller to Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
This is the first time it's been an Odyssey style movement.
Yeah, like
that I know of.
Yeah, like I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was charming. I looked forward to playing it when I wanted to play it.
Part of me wanted to go on and just like blast through it when I saw you put it on the docket. Like literally blast through it so I could sit down and talk about it with you.
Yeah, no, like
but I think if I go back to it at this point, I'm probably just going to start from the beginning again.
That's fair.
Well, this is the one where he turns into the car.
Yes, and I was just about to get into that. So and I won't linger too long on this, but essentially the biggest gimmick of this one is the mouthful mode.
Oh, that's where that North of the Border video got its okay.
Yes. Yep.
So like he could literally, this is basically Kirby in like realistic-esque world, right? So there are like traffic cones, there are these like signs and letters that are on buildings. He just sucks up the O, and he could blast air out of it now. Yep. He could fill up with water to like put out to clean up ink and poison and gunk on the ground.
He can turn into Patrick Star, but a duck.
He can.
Yep. He sucks up a car and just can drive it. And how does that work? I don't know, but
we don't ask the questions.
It's Kirby.
Imagine being inside the car.
Yeah.
Mouth.
Like, yeah, you can suck up a cone and then cone head shit. Yeah,
the infinite red fold.
You like stab the ground and stab certain spots as the cone head.
Yep. Those modes are fun. There are some other ones that aren't shown here. There's
fridge mode, which is my personal favorite.
Yep. Vend machine one. Yep.
Yeah.
And there are certain ones that are only for certain things.
Yeah.
That can't really be mobile or whatever. And there's one particular one that happens in the very end when you fight the boss.
Oh, you do get one last special one?
Yes, that really doesn't show up ever again. It's kind of cool. I won't spoil that at least. So that one's fun. But yeah, that was a cool gimmick. You always want to know how much can Kirby fit in there. Well, this game kind of shows you a little bit more. So, you know, that's always interesting and fun.
Of course, he also has his usual power-ups.
And I was going to say the copy abilities are also cool. I don't know how much of them are derived from previous versions, right? Like, I know, like, the basic sword one. Yeah. There's, like, the spike. Like, they have their basic ones, but, like, certain other ones, like, there's, like, this time warp one.
That one, I think, is brand new.
Okay. Yeah, it felt brand new, but I wasn't sure.
That one is brand new. I want to say the rest of them are not. They have some kind of incarnation. Drill, maybe. Drill may or may not be new. I can't immediately say one way or the other.
It would make sense that would be old.
The upgrades on top of them are new, though.
Yes.
I don't think we've seen any of those as their own standalone copy abilities in previous games.
I was curious about that myself. Because those are really cool.
They are very fun.
You find these blueprints in the world and you can upgrade your copy abilities to do either more damage, they're more faster. Yep. If it's like the ranger ability, basically the gun ability, overpowered, by the way. Use it for everything. I'm saying everything. It got me. It gets you through so much shit on easy mode. Like, well, not on easy mode, but like it will make hard mode, if you ever feel like you're having a hard time, it'll make it easy. Yeah. It will make it easy. Yeah. But yeah, like you could turn regular akimbo gun into basically astronaut laser alien gun. And that creates a black hole when it explodes, and it's crazy. Like these copy ability upgrades are wild. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun seeing like the progression of that and their final forms of those copy abilities. There's some really special ones that you unlock as you finish more of the game. One particular blueprint that you won't get until you finish kind of like the post game story, which there are essentially two. There's the main game and then there's like a post game, where it's like, okay, because you did a thing at the end of the main story, there's one more thing you can do that will be another like 5-6 hours of gameplay if you want to. Okay. And then there's like the extra super post game stuff where it's like, okay, you got to finish your arena, finish your collectibles, or whatever. So like when you finish that extra 5-6 of post game material, you unlock a special blueprint to upgrade basically one of the basic abilities, yet another stage, which you wouldn't think it would go another level, but it does. And it's hecking cool. Not going to spoil that one either.
Sick. I hate getting it after I've finished the game, but you know, what else?
Yeah, no, that's annoying because you only really maybe use it for the arena. Right. And then
now, if there was a new game plus where you got to use it from the get, like Okami does, that makes it worthwhile.
Yeah. But I mean, and now we're talking about Switch 2, the pay $10-$20 extra, and you can get Kirby the new DLC or the new story mode with Switch 2 or whatever. There's more story, like it doubles essentially. It's like another part of the story or whatever. So if you could copy your data over from your previous save and basically have all your copy abilities and stuff and play through that with those abilities. So that will be fun if I decide to do that, because I'll have that cool copy ability upgrade. But yeah, upgrades are dope, cute as hell, I say very challenging. It took me a minute to realize how to do it, and once I realized, I just had to use the mechanics that they told us from day one that I didn't use after day one. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, this is a lot easier now. This is a lot easier. It can get challenging at the very end game when you're trying to 100% it. It's basically what I wanted out of Kirby, and I was surprised that it became a little more challenging towards the end. And I like challenge, especially if I can beat the challenge.
Yeah.
Unlike the Zelda when I was a kid, I saw the challenge and I was like, nah,
Fair.
bro. But that's on me. That's on me. That's not on Zelda.
I can't hate it. I can't even hate on that. That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, if you're wondering about Kirby, Forgotten Lands, I initially was like, this is cute, but then after playing it all the way through, I'm like, okay, no, they did their thing.
You see why Kirby continues to remain a very like staple popular franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, I definitely will have to go on and finish this out then. I've been sitting on finishing this up and just never got around to doing it, and I think I'm probably gonna go on and do that then.
Yeah,
I saw a fucking clip the other day that was like, I'm going to save us all some mental health here. Look at your Steam library. Look at all the games you haven't played.
Play your fucking games.
Yeah. I'm in that phase of my life right now where I'm like, okay, I have a shit ton of games, not just in my Steam library, but even on my Switch that I bought and just never played.
Touched.
Like the next game I'm going to play is the Paper Mario game.
Oh yeah,
because I got
Origami King.
Origami King, yeah, and that was mixed reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I like Paper Mario. I'm going to play through that before I get
Mario
Thousand
games
Year
have the
Door.
unfortunate curse of not being Thousand Year Door.
Yes, I played
That's
that.
just the unfortunate reality of Paper Mario games.
I played it on the GameCube originally, and I was a kid. Again, I had troubles. Like apparently the gameplay length is only like about 20 hours. When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? I felt like I was playing that for years. Like what? But then I was a kid. And I was really bad at like.
Is that 20 hours based on?
Is years.
It is a lot of time. Is that based on completion or just steamrolling through the game? I never understand how like.
I'd assume it just meant like to get from the beginning of the game to the end, not trying to be a completionist, but just like, this is how hours of gameplay is.
Like if you know exactly what to do and you're following a walkthrough, it's going to take about 20 hours. If you're a kid and you're exploring and talking to NPCs and taking your time, it's going to take way longer.
Yeah. So I plan to get that remaster as soon as I'm done with Origami King. I really want to finish I got maybe 2 worlds into Origami King, and then I stopped. So I don't know. That's the next one I plan to tackle.
Fair. I need the next thing I plan on tackling is the Bayonetta series. I played Bayonetta 1. I got Bayonetta 2 back on the Wii U. I then bought all 3 on the Switch, and I have not.
You have a Wii U?
Yeah, I've had like every Nintendo console except.
I shouldn't be surprised. I should. I shouldn't be surprised. I just have never seen it. I've never seen you play the Wii U. I've only ever seen you with the Switch.
I think you've only known me since I've had the Switch.
I wasn't thinking about these things when I expressed surprise.
You want to know,
Okay.
like, to blow your mind, the Switch came out in 2017.
Which is still, yeah.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for
Right?
a minute.
That was before I wanted to kill myself.
Yo, no. Hey, is he okay? Need a hug? If you ever need
Well,
help
I
or
know about the
support.
depression, but holy shit.
Join our
Break this
Patreon
over.
so
We're
that we can
supposed to
help.
be recovering.
Join our Patreon.
We are not capitalizing his depression. No.
Join Patreon to fund Izzy's mental health support.
In the Play the song. Play the song.
Jesus Christ.
Play the song. Put his face up.
Holy fuck, bro.
You can just put
I'm
my
just
old,
saying,
put my
20
old fucking
Was a long
college
time.
101
It was
video.
better times.
It was
back
before
then.
the dark times. That's fair. That's
I
fair.
think it was literally when the first dark time started.
Oh, it was like 2
Yeah.
years before.
2016,
Oh,
2015.
not the
Well,
dark
which
times.
dark times are you thinking of?
I was thinking of
When did
just
Harambe
bad
die?
timeline start. Okay, it was a
It
year after
was-
bad timeline start.
Okay.
The world started going south when Harambe got shot.
There was that one real good period in 2016 when Pokemon Go came out.
yes.
There was like
That was 16.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah.
2016 was the year Pokemon Go came out, and it was like the brief period where we almost had world peace.
Literally.
It was honestly a taste of world peace. It was kind of crazy,
It was crazy.
and then it all went back to shit.
In the
Yeah.
arms of... It's just gonna be the human population on an alien fucking.
exactly.
We are the lesser creature. We are the dogs in that commercial.
Right. But to your point, Fluff, too, I think most people who owned a Wii U don't tell other people they owned a Wii U. So like,
it's true. So I'm used to at my cousin's house. They are big Nintendo people, and so whenever I would go to the house, their console would be like front and center, right in their living room, like very prominent. So I was used to seeing the Wii U like that, and then it occurred to me that I've never seen you, even as we lived together, with a Wii U, with a Wii U out, with a Wii U plugged into a television, and I was like, this motherfucker owns a Wii U?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Like I have the box upstairs. Like it's right in. It's in my closet right now.
You get like $5 for that. Damn.
I know, right?
What was on the Wii U that was like? Was there anything exclusive that
Smash
was like
4.
big?
Smash 4 for Wii U.
Which
the
introduced
Bayonetta games came out on Wii U, so that's how I played the first Bayonetta, and
They
then
didn't have like an exclusive Zelda.
They had like
No.
Sky. Didn't they have the
they had
Skyward Sword?
They had no. That's Switch. You're thinking Wind Waker
like,
and Twilight Princess HD
with the where you could swing the
that's
Wii remote.
that's a Switch game. A Wii game. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That
was
wasn't
base
Wii.
Wii.
That wasn't Wii U.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only Zelda games that the Wii U got initially were the only two that are still exclusive to Wii U are Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD. You can still get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess for the GameCube and Switch. There's now Wind Waker and the GameCube Nintendo Classics bundle. Twilight Princess is MIA for now. We'll see what happens with that.
Didn't you say the first Calamity game?
Yeah, Hyrule Warrior was Wii U only, but it got a deluxe on Switch when Switch came out. Age of Calamity, the sequel to that, was a Switch initially.
Right. Okay.
Was Hyrule Warrior worth playing?
I very much enjoyed it. If you're big on hack and slashes and just like mowing down giant fields of enemies, it's a lot of fun. If that's not your jam, and you can do combos and stuff, but it's not really super combo heavy.
Yeah.
If you're much more about like stylish stuff or really like planning out and strategizing, it might not be your thing. If you like if you've ever played Dynasty Warriors, which I imagine you have not, it is. I've never had either. Like literally the only reason I played it was because it was Zelda themed. The real draw of that is not so much the combat mechanics, so much as it is taking out like literally hundreds of enemies at a single time, like just hordes of enemies. And then you're like kind of racing against the clock for random events that are like not random, but events that are happening on the map because you're in like siege of battle, like type shit. I personally think it's a lot of fun. It will be the kind of thing I will let you borrow and play before I have you like, I wouldn't tell you to buy it outright.
That makes sense.
Unless you can find it for like $5 right now, which you probably can.
$10 if you buy it with the console.
I'll say this. I was not ashamed of having a Wii U. I had my Wii U. I enjoyed my Wii U. Mario 3D, even though there's not a deluxe version on the Switch, Mario 3D World, fantastic game. That was a lot of fun on the Wii U. Okay. I'm about to eat my own words because I'm trying to think of other shit that I played on the Wii U. I mean, Hyrule Warriors, both of the Zelda games. Like I played all the games at the time before the Switch was a thing and we got it all on the Switch. I played all of them on the Wii U and I had a fuck ton of fun. I very much enjoyed having my Wii U. The Wii U's biggest problem was its marketing was fucking shite. No one knew what the thing was. Like that was the problem with the Wii U for the most part, is that it just like it was hard to tell people what it was because it just felt like it was a peripheral thing for the Wii and it was a whole brand new console, and Nintendo did like no marketing for this fucking thing. It was really bad. It was really bad, but I am not ashamed of having my Wii U. I very much got my money's worth out of the thing.
Fair enough.
So
speaking of being not ashamed,
time for
3 books.
You did
on
read 3
vacation.
books. But we're only going to talk about one.
Well,
were they all 3 in the
they're all
series?
3 in the.
Oh,
I read
okay.
Return of the Runebound Professor 4.
You want to try
5,
that
and
one
6.
more time?
I read I read Return of the Runebound Professor.
Chick.
4, 5, and 6, I believe. I think 7 is coming out in August. You know, you might have to shift that number like one way or the other.
Fair.
Plus or minus.
I
read Return of the Runebound Professor 4, 5, and 6, plus or minus 1. And I had, before we get into spoiler territory, I had a great time with them. There's some dips, as there are some transitional periods where it made me kind of like reluctant to continue, but things picked up again pretty quickly, and it made sense for the overall plot progression. But goddamn, the cliffhangers. They hit me with one of the most sucker punch cliffhangers I have experienced in a long time.
Okay. I'm curious what it is.
Especially since Return of the Runebound Professor is usually pretty good at resolving conflicts quickly and within like the bounds of the pages of the book. That it made me think that the upcoming conflict must be much more extensive than what I was expecting going in, since they cut it off at the end of the book. I was like, so, sick. Going into spoiler territory.
Starting in 3, 2,
Uno.
1.
We pick up with, in book 4, we pick up with Moxie and Noah as we summarize their return from vacation. They've killed Evergreen. They have, for anybody who doesn't remember what the fuck I'm talking about, which is probably most of you. Yeah. There was a big bad in charge of Moxie. And when I say big bad, I mean somebody we would never expect to be able to touch. Through trickery, deceit, and like clever usage of their techniques, they're able to get somebody else to land the finishing blow on her, use them person as a patsy, and then go about their way. They also dig into a crypt where they steal this grimoire that can store basically infinite magic spells, but at the expense of sometimes swallowing and consuming those spells. So like there's an exchange. I say spells, they're runes. They're not actually spells. They're like the source of magic power in this world. So this is basically the book burns money to store money. It's like a reverse bank.
Okay.
But the trade-off is, instead of having to pay for this stuff called catch paper, which is really expensive to store your runes and create your own like grimoire, this grimoire, you never have to spend any money on catch paper, but you won't get back all of the runes you put into it.
Okay.
And the book is semi-sentient, so there's a bit of like an exchange you can make with the book, right? Nice. In doing so, they gain the attention of the head of Noah, our main character's family, the family that he was reincarnated into. And so we left off that book with what the fuck's going to happen with that. And so we return from the summer. We are engaging with, we return to schooling, we return to assassins coming from the Limwick family, hunting for them and being resolved pretty quickly. And shenanigans ensue. We meet with the head of the Limwick family, but he was really just looking for something to get his interest, which we successfully do, which wasn't a huge surprise. Noah and Moxie start living together, which is great. Love that. And we start to teach the kids formations, which is a...
Like team tactic formations, or
formations as in like magic formations.
Okay.
But in this universe, like, so the most typical form of a formation would be like a magic circle, right? But those circles are so specific to your specific magic that most people never invest time in them, right? Because you have to create this, and then in a couple of years, you might have a fundamentally different form of magic as you build out your rune set. So it just doesn't make sense for people to do it. Noah finds out through reading a book provided to him that music is a way to create... is a way to create formations. He was a music teacher in his previous life, so he starts exploring formations through music. Gets himself killed multiple times.
Damn. At the age of 27.
At the age of 27. And is able to start to figure out sort of like fundamentally how formations work, which is they're just patterns. They're just patterns that you put magic into to do more, bigger, better magic, right? And since he's figured this out, he starts to have his students utilize patterns or start to understand various patterns. One picks ice. One picks literally just doing nothing. One picks... like when I say doing nothing, like he like stealth, like he doesn't breathe, he doesn't move. He doesn't he works on being noticed, being in plain sight, but like being unseen.
Laziness? What?
I mean, kind of. It's a little bit of a joke, right? Like it's kind of the magic of laziness. Like it's
played as like a joke, or like
it's both played as a joke, and the characters basically his personality is
makes sense.
Like non-toxic weaponized incompetence, right? And so like he like that's just kind of like how his vibe. One picks like the way that stones crush you in an avalanche. Another guy who's an imbuer starts to like do some like fancy shit that is not as in line with everybody else. We also are introduced to a new student who we rescued in a previous book, who happens to show up. I'm kind of suspicious about this student. It seems like because they met with somebody who was presumably a pretty powerful character in a previous scene, and then we just don't ever hear from that character again, or how they guided or helped her out. So it's left unclear what happened there. But they're joining, and they're generating trust, and they're really throwing themselves into this. Noah takes a master rune that they gained over the summer break, and he puts it up for a competition, and so the students are going head to head. And we find out that the students did so well last year that they qualify for the advanced track. And as they're going into the advanced track, shenanigans ensue. Like clones start popping up that are made of plants. They're getting attacked in the streets. And these attacks are coming from a character named Wizen, who was the source of conflict in a previous book, but it was like the boss of somebody we killed. But it was the reason why there was conflict there in the first place. And Wizen is a rank 6, a powerful rank 6 at that. He wants an artifact that's on the campus. There's an attack that happens, and we confront some of his underlings, and eventually we orchestrate an attack on Wizen. Now, the thing that Wizen stole was a key to the demon realm.
Oh,
sick!
And so when we go to fight Wizen, we get sucked into the demon realm.
Fun.
Yep. And so underlying all of this, one of our central like main characters is named Lee, right? Lee is a demon. And the thing about demons is as they grow in power, they have a central emotion that they feed off of, right? Whether it's hatred, lust, knowledge, maternal capacity. We learn a lot more as we go to the demon realm, so I'm pulling some examples from that. But the more they grow in power, the more this emotion like consumes them mentally and like drives and guides them. And the fourth tier is a sort of a tipping point where they generally start to lose control. And Lee is being... I'm skipping over so much right now. But Lee is being consumed with by her emotion. And so going to the demon realm, this is an opportunity for us to start to figure out what the fuck's going on with that. Right? So they fight their way through the wastes. They end up getting into like a city. These cities are on the back of these massive like moving turtles that are lumbering across these wastelands.
In the demon realm?
In the demon realm. And they start to take over the criminal underground of this city. Because at this point, they're rank 4. They're pretty fucking powerful. They're nowhere near the peak of powerful, but they are.
What is the highest rank here?
The highest rank in theory is rank 9, which is understood to be the rank where you start to become a god or approach divinity.
Have we seen any characters up until now?
Not seen any rank 9s. Okay. In the kingdom we were in, nobody is known to be above rank 6. It's revealed to us that if you ascend to rank 7 in the kingdom, you're kind of kicked out because of some rules, which are left ambiguous, like what's going on with that.
Surely it's not going to come down to a plot of power hoarding.
Nah, certainly not.
No, it couldn't possibly.
There's already power hoarding. There's a whole like noble structure where they're like hoarding runes and knowledge that they're already fighting against within the kingdom. But sorry, excuse me. Anyways, it's like one of the characters that's actually like hunting for our MC at the behest of one of the gods that Noah stole power from when he was reincarnated is like what shows us that you get kicked out once you reach 7th rank. But it is not so in the demon realm. In the demon realm, there appears to be no cap on power. Most city lords are around 7th rank. And there's a lot of 5th ranks running around. But another thing in the demon realm was even more starved for knowledge than the force. And so demons are running around with really poorly put together runes, which allows our main characters to punch a little bit above their weight class. To appear more powerful. Because our main characters are able to put together flawless runes because of the bullshit abilities of our MC. Which I love. It's so fun. They put together, they're both exploring like concepts and planning things out and like creating runes from scratch. And I love the like magic theory, like mumbo jumbo. It really does it for me. And you get a lot of that in these books. And even if it's not something you're super interested in, I think they handle it well enough where you're not going to like be like, ugh, or just sit there and read like 2 chapters when they explain the nature of magic. Like there's not stuff like that, but it's very much integrated into the plot in a way that's satisfying, while giving someone like me that enjoys like the magic theory BS, like stuff to snack on.
How the system works.
Yeah. And so while we're like shenanigans ensue in the city, we're here to look for Wizen so we can get back, and we're here to figure out what the fuck is going on with Lee. In the process of creating one of these runes from scratch that our MC does, he creates by accident a rune of self, right? Which is essentially a portion of himself manifested as a magic rune in his soul. Right.
He just accidentally does it.
All the words I expected.
He does. Well, because in order to create a new rune, often what he'll do is he'll kill himself and then use the energy that's used to regenerate his body in order to aid in pressure in the creation of this new rune. Right.
Interesting.
Because our MC has a master rune that, in case I covered this before, but just to remind you, our MC has a master rune that allows him, it's called Sunder. It allows him to split runes apart. The most basic effects that he understands, or it allows him to split runes apart into their components, which normally wouldn't be able to do. You have to share the whole thing and start from scratch. And it allows him to be tethered to an object that has killed him. I say an object, there really is only one object that he's tethered to, that he's ever been tethered to. It's a gourd that poisoned his previous, the previous body owner. And so whenever he dies, he is sucked back and the body is regenerated from the powers of this rune.
Interesting.
Because in case we forgot, this is a reincarnation isekai.
Yep. It is. It's a pretty damn good one too, because he's also walking around with the trauma of standing in a line for like millennia, and within the narrative they don't just dismiss that. This is a like working with and understanding this both trauma and source of knowledge is very central to the character.
He probably doesn't stand in lines for anything.
He really doesn't. He's extremely impatient. He has like very direct flaws resulting from this trauma. Anyways, and so they figure out where Wizen is. There's a lot of different shenanigans that result in this, but they're not super critical. What's critical is he realizes that the god that created the rune that he stole it from is the person who created the demons. And because they're sort of like derived just from this god, that's why they're consumed by their emotions. They have nothing that truly makes them an individual. They're just a subcomponent. They're just a rune, essentially.
Okay.
And so that's why they can't advance. They're consumed by their emotions. They can't advance past rank 8, we find out. But we find out where Wizen is. And Wizen is going to confront this uber powerful demon because he wants to get his dead daughter back. Wow, big surprise. we go to this demon place. Wizen's fighting this demon. This demon could probably just snap his fingers and erase Wizen from existence. Right?
Do we already know about the dead daughter, or is this a reveal?
It is a reveal. It is something that we progress to. Like he has this weird relationship with like a dying demon who's like helping him out. Somebody that normally, based on what we know from Wizen, he'd probably either just kill or dismiss, right? But he keeps them around and he cares for them, you know, because it reminds him of his dead daughter. And so Wizen it's revealed that Wizen is extremely powerful, especially for rank 6, right? Vastly more powerful than anything you can expect. He's able to cast multiple kinds of magic at once, which is unheard of. He can have multiple sets of runes from other people of magic of similar power who he's killed and like absorbed, because he also has a fragment of power from the same person, from the same god that our RMC does. It just has a slightly different effect. But he's able to do all of this bullshit with it, right? But even then, that's not enough. That shouldn't be enough to compare to this rank 8 demon,
right?
Who has all flawless runes. The only thing stopping him from ascending into godhood is the fact that he is a demon.
Quite literally a rule against it.
Yeah, like, and so the demon is like, I got one thing left to try, which is fucking dying. And so he wants Wizen to kill him. He basically lets Wizen land a killing blow on him and opens a portal to the afterlife. Wizen goes through and our MC chases after him. And then the fuck ends. I was so pissed. Now, I just like shat through that so fast. There's so many details I'm missing. Like the fact that the girl that Wizen was caring for died in Noah's arms and he's going back to try to save her as well. And there's a lot of tension and conflict, and there's a really, really rough summary of three books that were almost like 600 pages each. I enjoyed the fuck out of them. Can't recommend them enough. Probably 8.5, 8 out of 10. It's super duper good.
Nice. And that's like the most recent updates?
That's the most recent. Well, I'm sure I could go to Royal Road and see what's available there. Given the fact that the next book is slated for publishing right now, it's a good chance all that's been wiped, but I really don't know. I'm just kind of letting it stand for the sake of my own moderation. Because as much as Railroad's probably really cool, I don't know if I could handle getting into that right now. I feel like I would probably just suck my life away. What, you want to suck my life away, baby? you want to give it a go yourself?
It's like 80,000 jokes popped into all of our minds at the same time. Yeah. It's just like, well,
another one lost to the streets.
Oh,
no, that's it though. God,
I love
everything about this world. Seems super interesting. Like, this is the type of book I would have gotten.
I think you would love this book.
And I just got a few things to figure out in my life to get on fucking track again. And I've been really wanting to get back into reading lately, like really bad. And this sounds way up my alley. I mean, there's a lot of things that we've talked about.
Well, if you ever want presents, I can get you a couple.
It's not getting the books that's the issue. It's having the time to read them.
I know.
Yeah.
He could get you the time too.
I mean, if you could do that. But yeah.
Stop time.
Like this is every time we talk about it, even though, despite the fact that I forget every detail the second week you walk away because my memory is shite. Once you start talking about it again, I remember like, man, this sounds fucking sick.
It's always fun revisiting the story as you complete it, and like we go into spoilers every time, but every time I'm like, ooh.
Especially the magic system in which you've described it so far. Like everything about that is so up my alley.
So cool.
It's so fucking cool. But it's Return of the Room, my professor, does not have an anime adaptation, does it?
It does not. It has a webtoon at the moment that's like 30 chapters deep.
There is an anime. And I've never seen the anime. I've seen clips from the anime that I swear does the same thing. Well, I say the same thing. There was a clip I watched hinged on the professor teaching his students about the concept of like how magic is put together, and almost the exact way you were describing. Like,
is that the
rooms.
one where like the guy who like sucks at magic has a really low magic pool, and so he's like, if you say this spell, but you say it this way, it turns left.
Yes, that one.
I started to watch that one, and then he had a really weird relationship with one of his students, and I was like,
fair.
even though technically I guess they were like the same age, but even then there's like a weird power dynamic.
No, you just gotta get to episode 150.
No, guys, I promise.
Just skip past it. Here's a list of episodes.
Question: did we ever finish the Seventh Prince? Did we ever get to the end of that? What was available?
I thought we did.
I thought we did.
We might have.
If
I
we
just
did
don't
it
remember.
together,
I started
remember.
reading a little bit more of
Really?
it too. Yeah, it stays enjoyable.
Okay.
You know, it's
I remember
nothing
watching
like
the
crazy
last
where I'm
bit.
like, oh, you gotta read it. But it's
I remember what the ending was now. Never mind.
I don't. But
It was the whole he fought that one vampire demon dude in the castle in the middle of the lake.
Blew a
Yeah.
hole in the
And
sky.
now all the criminals now work for him because
Oh,
they
yeah.
were actually good folks.
Mhm.
And they just couldn't control their powers and all that shit.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Completely neither here nor there. But yeah, Return of the Runebound Professor. So that is up through book 7, give or take.
It's gonna be 7 in August.
Oh, okay, 6, give or take.
6, give or take,
Plus or minus 1.
plus or minus.
Plus
one.
or minus 1.
Yeah, no, that's sick. And at some point, I am gonna read this series. Just got to get to a certain place in my life before I can do that.
I think volume
believe
1
in
is
you.
on Spotify.
Oh, really?
Yeah, audiobook. Wait,
I should get into audiobooks. I really want to read it. I just
Yeah.
want to read it myself. I don't know
That's
why I've
fair.
always been this way.
I gotta say, one thing I realized while reading this book is how much I missed the performance of the audiobook.
Yeah.
Not to say like the book was worse, but just it was like losing a sense almost.
Yeah.
It was because just like the tension and the voices he used and like the pacing that they got, like there's such a good performer that I would say that it's a better experience with them than without them. But you know, whatever floats your
fair.
boat.
To me, there's something to be said about any media like this where it's like a story told that as I listen to it, it makes me want to play a game of it. That like if that's to me is like the mark of a good like
If you
story
could
or
create that
system.
crafting system, where you
Like
can
that
combine-
magic rune crafting system sounds so fucking sick as like a game mechanic. It would be that would be a lot of fun. But all right, that it. Anything else to say about Runebound Professor?
You know, I'm sure I'll think of something, but we are out of time.
We're here a lot, so we'll talk about that more.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be it for us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We got through a lot of things. The Mario Kart Direct took a turn into some conversation I was not expecting it to take, or at least some emotions I was not expecting to spill.
Yeah.
But there will continue to be more about that. I'm sure.
More Switch 2 stuff.
A lot of Switch 2 stuff, especially now the pre-orders go live in a minute.
Literally 60 seconds. It just turned.
We'll kind of see where all that goes. The pricing, not a lot extra to say on that. It sucks, but also was inevitable to get to.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of some other things. Nope. I think that's
Like
pretty
and
much it.
subsume.
Yep. 5 stars.
Lick and subsume, 5 stars. Follow the Patreon. It's still kind of under construction right now. I'm working on one of the biggest tasks I've been working on, other than editing the episodes to get them out, has been going back and rendering out and kind of organizing all of the outtake stuff from all the older episodes, so I can start uploading all of that onto Patreon.
Just $1.
The Patreon is still currently $1.
Yeah. Big love to Mike.
Big ups to Mike, the original old god. Thank you, buddy. He has been going strong on that bad boy.
Absolutely.
Thank you very fucking much. Look forward to a lot going on with that soon. I have started some YouTube channels. I've gotten the videos out there for 3 new channels. I'm not going to go super deep into it, but there will probably start being advertisements for that. Oh no. Did you refresh? It was already.
Pre-order just sold out for Target.
Yep. I'm not even shocked.
Dude.
Gonna do some live pre-order checking right quick. Where's my Best Buy?
Happening live.
Like, even if you can't pre-order a fuck ton of them, I imagine there are already
soon.
bots.
It's 12 a.m. right now. It was maybe 30 seconds after.
The site is having a hard time loading.
Oops, chugging.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bruh.
Did I not sign in?
You got to sign in. Coming soon
This
still?
is coming soon.
That's reloaded?
It just changes to sold out.
It should be so fucking funny if it does. I was not planning on putting all my hopes into getting it this way. Yeah. I'm just going to wait for the invite BS. Did I not confirm my location? My location is confirmed. What else? Pre-orders have sold out.
Well,
I forgot to sign into this bull. Do I have a? I should. Yeah, I have a. Yes, I do.
Hey, is it cute with the pizza?
Which door is it at?
This one should be.
We haven't even ended the episode yet, which is great.
I know.
Anyway, yeah. Like, subscribe, 5 stars. Patreon is $1. Sign up while it's still $1. Won't be that forever. Yeah, you can just go grab it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Stay gay.
slam it. Pull it.